We all know that worries can pile up. Tiny ones like forgetting a text, or huge ones that shake your whole world. But have you ever wondered what would happen if you stopped holding them for just a moment? If you let compassion itself carry the weight instead? Tonight, we explore that possibility in Surrender Your Worries. Avalokiteshvara's Compassion Protects You. In today's video, we'll talk about letting go and finding calm through compassion. So let's not waste any time and let's begin. The soft invitation from the introduction settles into stillness, like the world exhaling with you. As your breath slows, the fog of the day begins to thin. You find yourself standing at the edge of a quiet mountain path, the kind of place that feels both familiar and dreamlike, as if your heart has been here long before your feet arrived. The ground beneath you is cool and firm, shaped by countless steps before yours, yet somehow it feels like it has been waiting specifically for you. The light around you is dim, not dark, the way twilight lingers when the sun has slipped just far enough that the world becomes gentle. A soft glow lines the path ahead, warm, subtle, like kindness made visible. You're not sure where the glow comes from. It isn't a lantern, it isn't the moon. It's more like compassion woven into the air itself, illuminating your way without effort. With your first step forward, something shifts. The tension you thought you needed to survive the day begins to loosen its grip. Your shoulders sink a little. Your breath deepens. The worries that clung to you, those small anxieties, the heavy ones, the ones you never speak aloud, start trailing behind you like fading footprints. You don't need to push them away. The path gently pulls you forward, inviting them to fall back on their own. Above you, the sky glows with the last threads of daylight, streaks of gold dissolving into blue. You can almost sense Avalokiteshvara's compassionate gaze watching over you from somewhere beyond the horizon, not as a figure standing before you, but as a presence woven through the air. Soft, steady, always there. It's the kind of presence that asks nothing of you, only offering space to rest. As you walk, the quiet is comforting, not empty. The mountain hums with life beneath its stillness. Crickets whisper in the grass, their rhythm slow and calming. A breeze drifts across your cheek, carrying the faint scent of pine and something sweeter, like blossoms hidden just out of sight. Everything feels intentional. Everything feels safe. Each sound, each breath, each step exists exactly where it needs to be. Your mind, which earlier kept running in circles, starts to slow. The thoughts that felt tangled now unwind, thread by thread. You begin noticing things you hadn't before. The softness of the soil beneath your feet, the way the path curves gently to your right, the hush of leaves overhead. It feels almost like the mountain is breathing with you, matching your pace, encouraging your heart to soften with every step. There's a peace here that doesn't require you to earn it. No test, no judgment, no expectation. Just the simple truth that compassion exists and includes you. Even the parts of you that feel messy or exhausted. Even the parts you rarely show anyone. Avalokiteshvara's presence reaches everything, and that includes the version of you walking right now. Tired, hopeful, healing. The glow along the path brightens slightly, not enough to startle you, just enough to guide your eyes toward the direction ahead. The path bends into a gentle descent, and you follow its curve naturally, feeling as though it knows exactly where you need to go. The further you move, the quieter your inner world becomes. Worries that once felt overwhelming now seem distant, softened by the compassion surrounding you. You inhale, and the cool air clears your chest. You exhale, and something heavy leaves with it. Your arms feel lighter. Your steps feel smoother. For the first time in a while, you realize you're not rushing anywhere. You're simply walking, and that is enough. As the path continues, the glow becomes more pronounced, like a thread of kindness leading you deeper into stillness. The breeze grows softer, whispering through the leaves overhead. The world around you quiets even more, inviting your mind to settle into a deeper calm. It feels like the air is thickening with softness, as though compassion itself is gathering, preparing to guide you somewhere more serene. Your footsteps slow, not from exhaustion, but from a growing sense of reverence. There's something ahead, something gentler, quieter, more peaceful than where you stand now. You can sense it in the way the wind pauses, in the way the glow seems to breathe, in the way your heart instinctively knows to soften further. The mountainside opens slightly, revealing a stretch of path that dips into a small valley where the air feels even calmer. You don't see the valley clearly yet, but you can feel its presence, like a promise waiting just beyond the next curve. The path invites you to keep walking, deeper into its quiet guidance, deeper into the silence that feels safe and full. And so you step forward, following the soft light and the growing stillness, letting the mountain lead you gently toward the valley, where fear begins to dissolve. As you step deeper into the valley, the air grows softer, almost velvety against your skin. The glow of the path remains close beside you, but now the world around you feels somehow more alive, more aware of your presence. You pause for a moment, letting your breath settle, and that's when you feel it. A warm breeze drifting gently across your face. It isn't sudden or sharp. It arrives like a friend who already knows what you've been through, brushing your cheek with a tenderness that makes your shoulders drop another inch. The wind carries a quiet warmth, the kind that doesn't come from the sun, but from something more intentional. It swirls around you in a slow spiral, almost curious, as though it recognizes the weight you've tried to keep hidden. You close your eyes, and the breeze gathers lightly at your temples, smoothing away the remnants of the day that cling to your thoughts. It's such a simple thing, this small movement of air, yet it feels strangely personal, like a reassurance whispered without words. You take a slow inhale, and the breeze seems to fill your lungs with something clean and open. The breath you release feels different from the ones before it, as if it's carrying away a tension you didn't realize was still holding on. Another warm gust wraps gently around the back of your neck, easing the stiffness that always settles there when you've been carrying too much for too long. It moves with an almost deliberate kindness, as though Avalokiteshvara's compassion is riding on its currents. With each wave of air, you feel more seen, not in a way that makes you self-conscious, but in a way that tells you that everything about you, every hurt, every fear, every moment you felt alone, has been noticed by something greater than your own thoughts. The wind brushes your chest, warm and steady, as if reminding your heart that it doesn't need to clench so tightly. Bit by bit, the heaviness releases, softening like fabric left out in the sun. You open your eyes slowly, and the world around you seems to glow with a faint shimmer, as though the breeze has awakened something hidden in the valley. The bushes sway in a rhythmic pattern, leaves fluttering with a gentleness that mirrors your slowing heartbeat. Even the tall grass appears to bend toward you, stirred by the same compassionate wind that moves across your skin. The breeze shifts direction, flowing along the path ahead, almost nudging you forward. There's no sense of urgency, only an invitation, warm and patient. You follow its gentle pull, letting your steps fall into a natural rhythm. With each footfall, the wind gathers at your back, giving you a quiet push of encouragement, as if saying, "You don't walk alone." As you walk, the breeze begins to carry subtle scents, a hint of jasmine hidden somewhere among the rocks, the earthy sweetness of moss, and something else, something lighter, like the fragrance of blossoms that bloom only at night. The combination is comforting, grounding, and strangely familiar, even if you can't place where you've smelled it before. It wraps around you like a memory you've never lived but still somehow understand. Your mind drifts gently. You think of times in your life when you wished someone would help carry your worries without being asked. Times when you wish someone would just know what you needed without you having to explain. The breeze seems to sense these thoughts because it circles your chest again, warm and patient, almost like a hand resting there, reminding you that compassion doesn't need explanations. It simply arrives when you allow space for it. Up ahead, the path widens, and the wind moves more freely through the valley. It picks up stray leaves and carries them in swirling motions, almost like they're dancing around you. The playfulness makes you smile. Not a big, bright smile, but a small one, the kind that forms before you even notice it. It's the smile of relief, of ease, of being held by something greater than your worries. The wind moves ahead again, lifting your hair lightly as it guides you toward the deeper part of the valley. The warm current flows in steady waves, leading you with gentle insistence. The valley grows quieter as the breeze becomes your companion, your guide, your reminder that you're supported in ways you can't always see. The glow of the path softens, blending into the warm hues of the wind's movement. You follow the breeze deeper until the valley walls curve inward slightly, creating a sheltered space where the air feels even gentler, even warmer. You pause there, letting the wind wrap around you like a shawl made of compassion. Its warmth lingers at your shoulders, your back, your hands, as if preparing you for what lies ahead. A place where old fears finally begin to loosen their roots. You breathe slowly, letting the wind complete its quiet work, as the valley leads you into the deeper embrace waiting in the next chapter. The warmth of the breeze lingers as you continue deeper into the valley, its gentle currents moving like soft hands guiding you forward. The glow along the path remains steady, but now it feels more intimate, more rooted in the space around you, as if the valley itself recognizes your presence and wants to help lighten what you've been carrying. The air grows warmer, wrapping you in a sense of quiet safety that settles deep into your chest. The landscape begins to open wider, revealing a stretch of land bathed in muted twilight. You step onto it, and the ground beneath your feet shifts into a softer texture, like moss mixed with earth, giving way slightly with each step. The sensation is calming, grounding. It reminds you that you're supported, held from below, and embraced from above. As you walk, faint echoes of old worries begin to surface in your mind. Not the overwhelming kind that rush in all at once, but soft memories. Fears that once felt hopelessly heavy now rising like mist. They show up gently. Moments you wish had gone differently. Conversations that left marks. Nights where you felt alone, even surrounded by people. But here, in this valley, these memories don't hit you sharply. They float, hovering just close enough to acknowledge, without causing harm. The warm wind returns, brushing against your temple as if it senses the shift in your thoughts. It circles you slowly, carrying the scent of distant blossoms and something cleaner, like cool rain before it falls. This breeze feels different now, more intentional, as though Avalokiteshvara's compassion has moved closer. It doesn't force your worries away. It simply surrounds them, softening their edges, making them easier to look at without flinching. You allow yourself to pause in the middle of the valley. The air deepens with stillness. You breathe in slowly. You breathe out even slower. With each inhale, the fears inside you become lighter. With each exhale, they drift farther from your heart. The breeze lifts them gently, carrying them upward like leaves released from a branch. You watch them rise, dissolving into the soft evening air until they are no longer shapes, only warmth dispersing into the sky. A small sound emerges from somewhere nearby, a gentle hum, almost like the earth itself is singing. The vibration runs faintly through the soil, soothing and low, a reminder that even the ground beneath you understands what release feels like. You take another breath, feeling your rib cage expand with comfort rather than tension. The valley seems to breathe with you, responding to your calm with its own. Ahead, the path narrows slightly, curving deeper into the heart of the valley. You follow it, feeling lighter with each step, as though your body has shed a weight you didn't realize you were carrying. The warm breeze travels alongside you, sometimes brushing your cheek, sometimes circling your hands, always reminding you that compassion remains close. You notice small flowers dotting the path, soft blues, pale whites, gentle pinks. They glow faintly, emitting a subtle shimmer that seems to pulse with your heartbeat. When you look closer, you see that these flowers open wider the moment you near them, petals spreading gently like a quiet welcome. Their peaceful light makes the path ahead easier to walk, illuminating shadows without erasing them. If any lingering fears try to rise again, they do so weakly, like tired echoes. The valley has a way of calming them, softening them until they lose their hold. They drift through you like clouds, acknowledged, seen, but no longer able to cling. Avalokiteshvara's compassion acts like sunlight breaking through morning fog, warming away what was once cold and heavy. The valley floor narrows once more, guiding you toward a cluster of trees up ahead. Their silhouettes stand tall and graceful, branches swaying in a slow, rhythmic dance. There's something calming about their shape, something listening in their posture. As you walk closer, the warm wind drifts toward the grove, as if encouraging you to enter the space beneath those branches. You step forward, feeling the atmosphere shift again. The grove waits just ahead, a sheltered place where the breeze quiets and the world grows even gentler. The valley behind you feels like it has absorbed the last traces of your fears, leaving your heart clearer than before. You walk toward the trees, guided not by urgency, but by a quiet curiosity, wondering what new softness awaits within their shade. And as the first branches arch overhead, you feel the valley's last warm sigh at your back, nudging you gently into the grove where listening leaves wait to receive whatever your heart brings next. The last breath of the valley's warm wind follows you as you step beneath the first arching branches of the grove. The world here grows quieter in a different way, still peaceful, but with a kind of hushed attention, like the air itself has leaned in to listen. The leaves overhead shimmer softly, catching the faintest light and returning it in muted glimmers that guide your steps forward. You feel the shift immediately, the way one feels the difference between being seen and being understood. The ground beneath your feet becomes softer still, covered in a thin layer of fallen leaves that cushion each step. They rustle faintly, not in the chaotic whisper of forests stirred by wind, but in a steady, gentle murmur, almost like a whisper answering your presence. It's a surprisingly comforting sound, as though the grove is welcoming you into a space where nothing you carry needs to be hidden. You take a breath, and the air tastes different, earthy, cool, tinged with the faint sweetness of distant blossoms. Your chest expands more fully than you expect, as if the space around you is encouraging you to breathe deeper, to let your lungs open without guarding themselves against the weight you've grown used to holding. The deeper the breath, the more grounded you feel, and the more the grove seems to wrap itself around you in warmth and understanding. The trees here stand tall, their trunks smooth and sturdy, their branches flowing overhead like gentle arms. When the breeze moves through them, their leaves rustle in a pattern that doesn't feel random. It feels intentional, a soft chorus timed with your steps, your breaths, your thoughts. You get the sense that these trees have been listening for a very long time, not only to the world around them, but to all who have ever stepped into this grove with a heart full of burdens. There's a moment when you realize that the grove isn't quiet at all. It's simply listening, truly listening. Not for your voice, not for your words, but for the shifts in your breath, the weight in your posture, the rhythm of your heartbeat. And somehow, without knowing how, you feel understood. The kind of understanding that doesn't require explanation. It's the same kind of understanding Avalokiteshvara offers, an awareness so gentle it melts defensiveness before it even forms. Your thoughts drift to things you never say out loud, memories that ache when you touch them, questions you've carried silently, fears that show up in quiet moments. You don't speak them here, but the grove responds anyway. A leaf falls near your feet with perfect timing, as though promising that nothing you feel is too small or too heavy to be held by compassion. You continue walking deeper, and the rustling becomes softer, almost melodic. Some trees lean slightly toward the path, their branches curving just enough to feel like they're bowing in recognition. Others sway as if breathing with you. The way they move gives shape to the feeling Avalokiteshvara's compassion brings, the sense of being witnessed gently, without judgment or expectation. The more you walk, the more your mind begins to settle. Not empty, but peaceful. Thoughts come and go without gripping you. Old worries lose their sharpness. Even the aches you carry in the body, tightness in the shoulders, heaviness in the ribs, begin to ease as you breathe within the grove's quiet support. A soft sound draws your attention, a delicate tapping, rhythmic and distant. At first, it blends with the rustling leaves, but soon it becomes clearer, like a tiny chime lightly touched by an unseen hand. The tone is gentle, high enough to shimmer, but soft enough not to break the calm you've found here. It echoes faintly between the trunks, weaving between branches, inviting your curiosity without hurrying you. You pause for a moment, letting your senses open. The chime sounds again, slightly clearer this time, and you feel a subtle pull in your chest. Not forceful, just a quiet tug urging you to follow. The trees around you sway as if acknowledging the sound, encouraging you forward. The leaves rustle in a gentle cascade, a whispering wave that seems to say, "This way, you're ready." You walk toward the source of the sound, deeper into the grove. With each step, the chime grows a little brighter, threading through the stillness like a guiding note. The path softens even more beneath your feet, and the air thickens with a serene warmth. The trees lean in just slightly, as if escorting you toward the next sanctuary waiting ahead. As the chime rings again, clearer and closer, you sense that something meaningful lies beyond the next curve. A place shaped not just by sound, but by intention. The grove listens as you take another step forward, carrying you gently toward the bell that will guide you deeper into Avalokiteshvara's compassion. The soft chime you've been hearing becomes clearer as you move through the grove, each gentle note floating through the branches like a thread of light woven into the air. The sound feels familiar, even though you've never heard it before. The way comfort sometimes arrives in forms you can't name, but instantly understand. As you walk, the leaves above you grow still, as if they too are listening. Another delicate ring echoes through the grove, lingering like a warm breath against your skin. It doesn't startle you. Instead, it washes over you with a softness that settles into your chest, loosening the quiet knots that remain there. Each tone fades slowly, dissolving into the twilight, carrying fragments of worry with it as it goes. It feels like the bell is not just ringing. It's calling to the parts of you that have long craved release. The path beneath your feet begins to incline, gently, leading you toward a clearing where the light shifts into deeper hues. The sky overhead holds the last traces of sun, streaks of lavender and gold merging into a quiet blue. You move toward the glow instinctively, guided not by urgency, but by the calming rhythm of the bell that seems to resonate directly with your heartbeat. When the next chime arrives, it sounds closer, clearer, resonant. The note spreads outward like ripples on a still pond, reaching every corner of the grove. The sound doesn't just touch your ears. It touches the space inside you where tightness once lived. It reaches the memories you try not to revisit, the fears you hide even from yourself, the heaviness you carry because you think you have to. And with each ring, something inside you softens, just a little. Another breath, another step. The bell chimes again, and you feel the air around you shift. The grove begins to thin, the branches opening to reveal a small rise ahead. Through the gap, you see the faint outline of a structure, a simple wooden frame holding a bronze bell suspended beneath a modest roof. It's not grand or ornate. Its beauty lies in its quiet presence, the way it stands gently in the clearing, untouched by time. You approach slowly, taking in every detail. The bell itself glows with a warm, muted luster. Patterns etched along its surface swirl in shapes reminiscent of flowing water, the curves soft and organic. The rope hanging beside it sways lightly, stirred by the same gentle breeze that guided you here. When the next chime sounds, you notice something unexpected. The rope hasn't moved. The bell rings on its own, animated not by force, but by intention. You stop a few steps away and let the sound envelop you fully. It vibrates subtly through the earth, through your legs, through your spine, resonating in a place deeper than the physical. The echo trails behind the note like a long, warm sigh, coaxing you to release what you've held tight for far too long. Standing before the bell, you breathe in the twilight air. The scent of pine drifts around you, mixed with a soft sweetness you can't quite identify. As you breathe out, the bell answers with another gentle ring, as if responding to your exhale. The timing is perfect, too perfect to be the coincidence. It feels like Avalokiteshvara's compassion is speaking through the bell, saying without words, "Let it go. You don't have to carry this anymore." Your shoulders drop. Your jaw loosens. The tightness in your chest eases. The sound is a kind of kindness, steady, patient, always arriving exactly when you need it. The bell chimes again. This time, the tone stretches longer, as though the world itself is holding the note. As it reverberates, images drift through your mind. The moments you swallowed your pain to stay strong. The nights you whispered your hopes into the dark. The times you felt unseen even when surrounded by others. But here, in the presence of this gentle bell, those memories feel lighter, softened by the compassion echoing around you. When the final chime rings, its lingering note spreads outward, drifting into the grove and beyond. It feels like it's guiding you forward, urging you to follow its echo further down the path. The clearing glows faintly, and at the edge of the trees, you notice a soft shimmer, like a line of light reflecting off moving water. A quiet stream flows just beyond the clearing, its surface illuminated by lanterns that hang from low branches, casting ripples of golden light across the water. The sight draws you toward it with a sense of peace that fills your whole being. And so, you follow the last fading resonance of the bell toward the lantern-lit stream waiting just ahead, ready to show you a new way to let go. The soft glow of the lanterns leads you closer to the stream, their warm light flickering across the ground in quiet patterns. As you step out of the clearing and approach the water, the gentle sound of flowing currents becomes clearer, a steady, soothing murmur that feels like it's been waiting for you. The bell's fading echo dissolves into the sound of the stream, merging into a single, calming presence. You feel its invitation before you even reach the edge. When you kneel beside the water, the earth beneath you feels cool and steady, supporting your weight without question. The stream itself glimmers beneath the lantern light, its surface reflecting soft golds and silvers that drift and shimmer like thoughts passing through the mind. The water moves at an unhurried pace, not rushing, not stagnant, just flowing with the ease of something that knows exactly where it needs to go. You dip your hand into the stream, and the coolness surprises you at first, then relaxes your muscles almost instantly. The water curls gently around your fingers, slipping between them with a softness that feels intentional. As it flows past your skin, something inside you loosens, something you hadn't realized was still holding on. The stream doesn't take anything from you by force. It simply offers a place to let things go. A leaf drifts past, spinning slowly as the current carries it forward. You watch it tumble over small currents and smooth stones, unbothered by obstacles, never resisting, never clinging. It moves with a grace you can feel more than understand, and without meaning to, you imagine placing one of your worries onto that leaf. Something small at first, something easy to release. The moment you picture it, the stream seems to brighten slightly, as though responding to your quiet act of surrender. The leaf floats on, carrying your worry with it as effortlessly as the breeze carries a sigh. You feel lighter, just enough to notice the difference. Another leaf drifts along the surface, and you imagine setting another worry onto it, a thought that's clung to you for days, or a heaviness you haven't been able to shake. The leaf accepts it gently, then continues its journey downstream, disappearing into a soft bend of glowing water. The lanterns overhead sway with the breeze, casting shimmering reflections onto the stream's rippling surface. The light plays against the water, dancing in shapes that remind you of moments when you felt safe, moments when someone's presence was enough to help you soften. You watch the reflections long enough that your breath naturally slows to match the current's rhythm. The more you look at the flowing water, the more clearly you see its lesson. The stream doesn't hold anything. It doesn't cling to the leaves or the petals or the fallen branches it carries. It simply receives and releases, without resistance or fear. Impermanence isn't a harsh truth here. It's a gentle one. A reminder that nothing, not even your worries, needs to stay forever. You cup your hands and let a bit of the water settle into your palms. The coolness grounds you, brings you back into your body. You let the water slip through your fingers, watching it rejoin the flow where it continues its journey without hesitation. For a moment, you feel your own mind mirrored in that motion. The possibility that your thoughts, too, can move freely when you stop trying to hold them in place. Another soft breeze moves through the branches, making the lanterns sway again. Their faint glow glimmers across the stream's surface like stars floating just beneath the water. The night deepens, but instead of growing darker, the world seems to brighten in a quieter, more intimate way. You feel Avalokiteshvara's compassion woven into the moment, as if the Bodhisattva is here beside you, gently encouraging each release, each breath, each softening. You let another worry slip into the stream, not deliberately, not with effort, but naturally, as if the stream simply drew it from you. And as it floats away, you realize how much lighter you've become. Not empty, just clearer, more spacious, more able to breathe with ease. The sound of the water becomes almost hypnotic, a rhythm your heart begins to echo. You sit with it for a long moment, letting the night wrap warmly around you. The stream continues forward, pulling your gaze along with it, guiding your eyes to where the path runs parallel to the water. A soft shimmer of moonlight traces that path, making it glow in a gentle arc. You rise slowly, feeling calm settle into your steps. The water continues its quiet work behind you as you begin walking beside it, following its silver trail through the deepening twilight. The path curves gracefully ahead, leading toward a small wooden bridge that waits just beyond the bend, the next quiet place calling you forward. The moonlit path curves gracefully beside the stream, its silver glow tracing each step you take. The water continues its soft conversation behind you, carrying away the last of the worries you allowed it to hold. As you follow the stream's gentle guidance, the wooden bridge comes into view, a simple crossing of smooth planks and curved rails, glowing faintly as if lit from within. The bridge sits quietly above the moving water, steady, patient, almost alive in the way it waits for you. Its presence feels like an invitation, not to hurry, not to prove anything, but simply to step forward when you're ready. The lanterns hanging from nearby branches cast a warm halo around it, turning the space into a small sanctuary of twilight calm. You pause at the edge of the bridge. The stream beneath whispers to you in soft murmurs, as though reminding you that everything you've released is already far downstream, drifting into places where they no longer need your attention. The air cools just slightly, brushing your skin like a reassuring hand. It settles around your shoulders, light and grounding. The moment you place your foot on the first wooden plank, something subtle shifts inside your chest. It isn't dramatic or sudden. It's more like the feeling you get when you finally understand something you've been sensing for a long time. A quiet realization, a gentle knowing. As you move forward, the boards beneath your feet respond with soft creaks, natural, rhythmic, comforting. The bridge carries your weight without strain, just as the compassion surrounding you has carried the invisible weight of your worries. You feel safe in the movement, safe in the moment, safe in this delicate space suspended between where you were and where you are going. The middle of the bridge seems to glow more brightly than the ends. When you reach it, you stop instinctively. The stream flows swiftly beneath you, glinting with lantern light and moonlight intertwined. You lean slightly over the railing, watching the water dance below, each ripple catching a shimmer of gold before dissolving back into the gentle current. As you watch, a soft awareness rises within you. You realize how easily the water carries everything placed within it, Leaves, petals, fallen twigs. They flow without resistance. Nothing stays stuck. Nothing stays heavy. The stream doesn't fight the things it carries, and it doesn't cling to them either. It simply moves forward, peaceful in its path. A slow breath enters your lungs. A deeper one leaves. Your mind begins to mirror the stream's movement. Thoughts flowing, unwinding, releasing without force. Something inside you expands, like a window opening to fresh air. And in that expansion, you feel Avalokiteshvara's compassion more clearly than ever before. It's not a vision, not a voice, more like a presence that settles warmly into your awareness, soft and steady. A feeling that you are being held gently from within. You sense that the Bodhisattva does not just witness your worries. Avalokiteshvara holds the part of you that feels afraid, the part that is tired, the part that has been trying so hard. And in that moment, a softness blooms across your heart. The breeze carries a faint warmth over the bridge, circling you like a delicate embrace. It brushes along your neck, your arms, the back of your hands, comforting in its quiet reassurance. The lantern light flickers gently, as though bowing in acknowledgement of the compassion now moving through you. You take another step forward. The vibration beneath your foot is almost imperceptible, but it feels like a small affirmation, like the bridge is responding to your inner shift. The path ahead begins to reveal itself more clearly. The shadows around the forest thinning as if the trees themselves are making space for you. With each step, the bridge feels less like a structure of wood and more like a passage of realization. You understand now that crossing isn't just physical, it's emotional, spiritual. The moment you reach the far end, something inside you has already crossed into a softer way of being. As you step off the last plank, your feet meet solid earth once again. The air is slightly warmer here, touched by a subtle glow that seems to drift from somewhere deeper within the forest. The stream continues its journey behind you, carrying everything you left with it. You no longer feel the weight of those worries pulling at your heart. A narrow path extends ahead, curving gently around a slope of the mountain. Along it, a faint golden light pulses, soft and inviting, as though guiding you towards something sacred. The trees gather more closely here, their branches weaving an archway that leads upward. And as you take your first steps along that glowing trail, you sense a sanctuary waiting just beyond the rise, quiet, warm, and ready to welcome you deeper into Avalokiteshvara's compassion. The glowing trail curves upward along the mountainside, each step carrying you into air that grows steadily warmer, touched by a softness that seems to come from somewhere unseen. The forest around you deepens into rich shades of twilight, and above the treetops, the crescent moon rises like a silver boat drifting across a dark ocean. Its delicate glow spills down onto the path, lighting your way with a calm that feels both ancient and alive. As you continue walking, the breeze shifts again, gentle and warm, brushing against your cheeks as though praising your steady steps. You feel its quiet encouragement guiding you forward, guiding you upward until the trees part just enough to reveal a clearing tucked neatly against the shoulder of the mountain. The clearing glows with an invitation so soft you feel your heart respond before your thoughts can catch up. Nestled at the center of the open space sits a small sanctuary, a humble hut built of smooth timber and stone, with walls worn by time but strengthened by care. It is simple, unadorned, yet beautiful in the way things tend to become when shaped slowly by tenderness and devotion. A faint golden light spills from the small window near the entrance, flickering like a warm heartbeat in the quiet night. You approach the sanctuary with soft steps, feeling an unexpected sense of familiarity radiating from its presence. It feels less like arriving at a new place and more like returning to somewhere you once knew but had forgotten. The crescent moon hangs directly above the hut, its gentle arc seeming to shelter the entire clearing in a peaceful embrace. The air feels thick with comfort, as if Avalokiteshvara's compassion gathers most strongly in places like this. When you reach the wooden door, you notice something remarkable. It is already slightly open, as though the sanctuary sensed your arrival before you even stepped into the clearing. The warm light spills through the gap, soft and steady, not too bright, not too dim. You place your hand on the frame, expecting the door to resist or creak, but it opens effortlessly, welcoming you inside without hesitation. The moment you step across the threshold, a deep stillness settles around you. Not an empty silence, but a full, serene quiet, the kind that feels sacred. The room is lit only by a single lantern hanging near the wall, its flame steady, its glow warm enough to soften every shadow. The wooden floor is smooth beneath your feet, and the air carries the gentle scent of sandalwood, calming and familiar, like the memory of a peaceful night long ago. You let yourself breathe in the sanctuary's warmth. Each inhale seems to deepen your sense of calm. Each exhale releases a little more of the tension hidden in your body. You move slowly to the center of the room, noticing how everything here is arranged with intention. A small cushion rests near the back wall, placed beside a shallow wooden bowl filled with water that reflects the lantern light in soft ripples. You sit comfortably, letting your body settle into the cushion. The moment you do, the entire room seems to exhale with you. The lantern light sways gently, casting slow-moving patterns across the wooden walls, each shape shifting like waves in a quiet sea. You close your eyes for a moment, feeling the sanctuary's presence wrap around you like a warm blanket. Somewhere in the silence, you sense Avalokiteshvara's compassion more clearly than before. Not as a figure or a face, but as a profound, gentle awareness that fills the room. It feels like being held, not physically, but deeply, softly, within a space that allows everything inside you to rest. There is no expectation here, no requirement to heal quickly, no pressure to understand anything. Just the invitation to breathe. The water in the bowl beside you ripples softly, though no wind touches it. The movement seems to echo your heartbeat, as if the sanctuary itself is acknowledging your presence, matching your rhythm, calming your thoughts. You watch the reflections glide along the surface, spreading slowly outward before returning to stillness again. You could stay here forever. In the sanctuary's warmth, you feel the weight of every long day you've ever endured, every fear you've carried silently, every sorrow you've tucked away, and instead of burdening you, those memories soften, the sharp edges fading as though the sanctuary's stillness smooths them one by one. Yet something gentle stirs at the edge of your awareness. A soft, rhythmic sound, so faint it's almost like a breath from the walls themselves. The lantern light flickers once, twice, and you watch as the wooden door at the back of the sanctuary begins to shift open on its own. Slowly, quietly, as though inviting you to step deeper into the inner heart of this peaceful refuge. You rise with a steady breath, feeling lighter than you expected. The sanctuary's warmth follows you as you move toward the open doorway, its soft glow spilling into the next room like a promise. Beyond it lies a quieter, more intimate space, one that seems to wait specifically for you. And with calm steps, you walk through the open door and into the quiet room of reflection awaiting you next. The door opens gently before you, its soft glow spilling into the sanctuary like a slow breath. You step through, expecting another small chamber, but what greets you is something entirely different. The room is wider than you imagined, yet the space feels intimate, like a quiet corner of your own mind made visible. The air is warmer here, almost velvety, carrying the faint scent of sandalwood and freshly lit incense. It wraps around you gently, as though the room itself is embracing you. The lantern light from the sanctuary flickers softly behind you, casting long shadows that stretch across the floor before dissolving into the gentle darkness ahead. You take a moment to let your eyes adjust. The room isn't bright. Its glow is subtle, woven into the very air, as if the walls themselves are holding a soft, internal light. It feels like stepping into a memory you once cherished, but forgot how to return to, until now. As you move further inside, your footsteps make almost no sound on the wooden floor. The quiet is peaceful, not hollow. It's the kind of quiet that encourages you to sit with yourself without fear. You sense Avalokiteshvara's compassion here more strongly than ever, not as an external presence, but as a gentle warmth blooming within your chest. A reassurance that whatever rises in your thoughts is safe to acknowledge. You notice the room mirrors the shape of your inner world, open in some places, cluttered in others. Along the edges are small shelves filled with objects that seem to represent pieces of your life, memories wrapped in symbols, experiences resting in simple forms like folded cloth, smooth stones, small wooden carvings. There is no judgment in the way they sit here. They simply exist, like quiet reminders of everything that has shaped you. You walk slowly along the shelves, your fingertips brushing lightly across the surfaces. Each object you pass releases a faint ripple of emotion. Not overwhelming, but honest. A smooth stone brings back a childhood moment of quiet courage. A folded cloth carries the memory of a night you cried softly into your hands, unseen by anyone. A wooden carving echoes the laughter of someone you once held close. The feelings rise gently, like petals floating to the surface of a calm pond. And yet, none of it feels heavy. The compassion filling the room holds each memory with such tenderness that even the painful ones soften, losing their sharp edges. You feel your breath deepen as you allow the emotions to drift through you, each one given space to be seen, then dissolve naturally into the surrounding stillness. You move toward the center of the room, where a round cushion waits atop a low wooden platform. It seems placed intentionally, as though this space has been inviting you to sit and reflect for a long time. You lower yourself onto the cushion, letting your body settle into its softness. The moment you close your eyes, a warmth rises from beneath you, spreading gently up your spine, relaxing your shoulders, loosening the muscles of your jaw. Your breath finds its own rhythm, slow, quiet, effortless. Thoughts rise, then fall away, just as easily. You feel as though Avalokiteshvara is sitting beside you, not saying anything, but offering unwavering presence. The room becomes an echo of that compassion, amplifying the sense that you are allowed to rest, to let your inner world open without fear of what it might reveal. In the stillness, a soft glow grows at the far side of the room. You open your eyes and see a faint line of light tracing the outline of something set into the wall. At first, you think it's just another part of the room's architecture, but as the glow strengthens, you realize it's a doorway. No, not a doorway, but the hint of a hidden passage. The outline brightens gradually, revealing a narrow frame. A gentle vibration moves through the floor beneath you, subtle and comforting, as if the room is whispering encouragement. When you stand and step closer to the glowing outline, the wooden panel shifts silently, revealing a staircase descending into a soft, welcoming darkness lit only by a faint amber glow. You pause at the top of the stairs, sensing the air below. It's warmer, thicker with calm, as though carrying the promise of something deeply healing. The compassion in the room gathers behind you like a supportive hand on your back. You take one slow breath, then another, and with a steady heart, you begin your descent into the deeper chambers of your inner world, guided by Avalokiteshvara's unwavering presence, down toward the place where understanding and release gently meet. The warm glow from the hidden passage gathers softly around your feet as you take the first step downward. The staircase welcomes you with steady wooden planks that give slightly under your weight, not in weakness, but in familiarity. Like they have been walked by countless others who sought the same quiet truths you now seek. The air grows warmer still, infused with an earthy fragrance, almost like rain on soil that has waited patiently for renewal. Your hand glides along the smooth wall beside you, its surface cool at first, then gradually warming beneath your touch. Each step feels unhurried, deliberate, as though this descent is guiding you not just downward, but inward, into the deeper parts of yourself that rarely receive your gentle attention. The lantern-lit glow illuminates the stairwell in soft amber hues that ripple faintly, imitating the rhythm of a slow, calm breath. With every step, you feel something loosen inside your chest. It's subtle at first, like the quiet release of a long sigh. The deeper you go, the easier your breathing becomes, as though the staircase is leading you toward a place where strain can finally dissolve. The air shifts around you, dense with warmth, yet light on your skin. It feels like being wrapped in a memory of safety you had forgotten you carried. The stairs open into a narrow corridor carved directly into the mountain's heart. The stone around you glows with an inner warmth, as if the compassion that shaped this path still lives within the walls themselves. You walk forward slowly, and the corridor widens with each step, the ceiling lifting higher, the space expanding gently until it no longer feels like a tunnel, but a chamber. You pause at the threshold of this new space. The chamber is vast, yet intimate, bathed in a soft amber radiance that emanates from cracks in the stone like veins of captured sunlight. You can hear a faint echo, not of sound, but of emotion. A resonance that matches the quiet rhythm of your own heart. This space feels like the inside of a feeling you once struggled to name. You step deeper in, and the ground shifts beneath you from solid rock to smooth, cool stone that has been polished by time. The air hums faintly, a subtle vibration that travels up your legs and settles in your torso, encouraging you to breathe deeper, to let yourself be fully present in this moment without hesitation. This chamber does not demand anything of you. It simply holds space. As you walk, the chamber's atmosphere shifts gently. Long-held emotions rise to the surface, not with force, but with the tender curiosity of memories asking to be acknowledged. Old fears, quiet griefs, the moments of heaviness you tucked away because the world outside didn't have room for them. All of them drift upward like bubbles rising through deep water. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to justify them. Here, they lose their sharpness, becoming shapes of feeling rather than sources of pain. The chamber receives them effortlessly, absorbing their weight the way stone absorbs heat, steady and unshaken. At the far end of the chamber lies a pool of still water, perfectly round, perfectly clear. It reflects the amber glow above it, creating an illusion of golden light suspended between stone and water. You approach it slowly, each step feeling softer than the last. The surface remains completely undisturbed, mirroring the space around you with flawless clarity. When you kneel at the edge, the reflection looking back at you is not a simple image. It appears deeper, layered, more truthful. You see yourself not as you appear in a mirror, but as the person you are beneath all the roles you've carried, beneath the expectations, beneath the worries, beneath the tiredness that sometimes hides your true softness. The water seems to breathe with you. When you inhale, the surface brightens. When you exhale, it settles into stillness again. You feel Avalokiteshvara's compassion rising through the pool like warmth, reaching toward you gently, not to change you, not to repair you, but to show you that your truest self has always been whole beneath the noise of the world. As you lean closer, a subtle ripple moves across the surface, not caused by your breath or your touch, but by something deeper. It's as though the pool has recognized your presence and is inviting you to release the emotions you no longer need. You watch the ripple expand outward, each ring softening more of the heaviness inside you. Another slow breath enters your lungs. Your shoulders ease. The quiet warmth of the chamber holds you steady. The ripple moves again, brighter this time, creating a trail of shimmering light that stretches from the water's center toward the small path behind the pool. You rise gently, following that faint shimmer toward the far edge of the chamber, where the rock begins to curve upward. The air shifts once more, warmer, lighter, as though guiding you forward into the next place of clarity. With calm steps and a steady heart, you make your way toward the glowing passage where the mirror pool's light invites you onward, deeper into understanding, deeper into compassion, toward the reflection waiting for you next. The faint shimmer that stretched across the chamber from the mirror pool draws you back toward the water's edge with a quiet pull that feels almost instinctual. You return to the smooth stone beside the pool and settle there once more, letting the warmth of the chamber wrap around you like a protective cloak. The soft amber glow above you reflects gently on the water's surface, forming delicate patterns that glide along its stillness. As you look into the pool again, your reflection appears more clearly this time, sharper yet softer, truer but less harsh. It isn't just a mirror of your face. It is a mirror of your presence, your essence. You see traces of tiredness, yes, but you also see resilience shimmering beneath your eyes. You see moments of pain woven gently beside moments of quiet strength. Every part of you is reflected without judgment. The longer you look, the more layers appear. You see versions of yourself you've forgotten. The one who laughed freely before life grew complicated. The one who carried hope even in difficult moments. The one who found joy in small things without waiting for permission. These reflections rise like soft memories, appearing not as ghosts of the past, but as pieces of you that still live within, waiting to be acknowledged. The water remains perfectly still, allowing every detail to show without distortion. There's something reassuring about that stillness, something deeply honest. For once, nothing inside you feels too loud or too small. Everything simply is. And the longer you sit with your reflection, the more you feel Avalokiteshvara's compassion gently illuminating every part of you, as though reminding you that you are worthy of being seen with kindness. A delicate ripple forms at the edge of the pool. It moves slowly across the water, carrying a slight shimmer that brightens as it approaches the center. You don't move, but the ripple seems to respond to your presence, as if stirred by the quiet changes happening within you. As the ring of light expands outward, your reflection shifts subtly, not in shape, but in energy. The softness in your expression grows, as though even your reflection is beginning to breathe easier. You lean a little closer, not out of curiosity, but out of a gentle pull to understand yourself more deeply. The pool accommodates your movement without distorting the image, holding your reflection with the same precise clarity as before. Now, you notice something new. Behind your reflection, faint images flicker like distant memories. Moments when you acted with courage you didn't recognize. Moments when you held compassion for others, even while struggling yourself. Moments when you kept going despite your doubts. These memories rise in the water, not to overwhelm you, but to remind you of your own capacity to endure, to love, to grow. They appear briefly, then fade into the pool's quiet glow, leaving behind a sense of gratitude that settles warmly in your chest. Then the ripple brightens again, stronger this time, sending another wave of shimmering light stretching across the pool. The water glows in thin, delicate strands that move like threads of moonlight, weaving themselves into a pathway. It begins at the pool's center, radiating outward until it touches the stone beneath your feet. You watch the shimmering thread extend toward the chamber's far wall. The glow gathers there, illuminating a narrow opening carved gently into the stone, a passageway you hadn't noticed before. It appears only because the pool has revealed it, as if the clarity you've gained here has illuminated the path forward. You rise slowly, feeling the warmth of the chamber steady you. The glow from the water lingers on your skin, a soft reminder of the insight you've just touched. Your heart feels clearer, not emptied, but quieted in a way that lets you move with more ease. You sense Avalokiteshvara's compassion wrapping around you like a gentle hand resting against your back, encouraging you without pressure. As you take one last look at the mirror pool, its surface settles again into perfect stillness, holding the soft echo of your reflection. There is peace in that stillness, a peace that stays with you as you step away from the water and toward the glowing passage. The amber light strengthens near the opening, illuminating the first few steps of the gently rising corridor ahead. It feels welcoming, shaped not by force, but by intention, like a path carved specifically for those willing to look honestly at themselves. The air shifts, lighter, fresher, carrying a faint hint of night blossoms waiting somewhere deeper within the mountain. With a steady breath, you step toward the narrow passageway, letting the shimmering light guide you forward. The chamber behind you fades into warm silence, and you begin walking toward the place where ripples of clarity become pathways of compassion, leading you gently into the next part of your journey. The narrow passage ahead glows softly, illuminated by the same shimmering strands of light that rose from the mirror pool. Each step you take feels gently supported, as though the warmth of the chamber behind you now travels through the floor beneath your feet. The air shifts again, lighter and more open, carrying with it a faint scent of night blossoms, delicate, sweet, and calming. The quiet hum of compassion that filled the chamber follows you here, wrapping around you like a gentle breeze. As you continue forward, the walls of the passage begin to smooth into gentle curves. Their amber glow softens into a cool, silvery hue that reminds you of moonlight reflected on calm water. The rippling pattern of light dances across the stone as though carrying memories of the mirror pool's stillness. You walk slowly, breathing deeply, letting the rhythm of the corridor guide your pace. With each inhale, the air feels a little clearer. With each exhale, your mind feels a little quieter. The hallway opens gradually, widening into a space that seems to breathe along with you. The glow on the walls grows brighter for a moment, then settles into a peaceful luminosity, almost like a soft pulse. It feels as if Avalokiteshvara's compassion is woven directly into the light itself, guiding you gently forward. A subtle sound emerges from ahead, a faint, flowing hum, like water gently lapping against a distant shore. You follow the sound, feeling the corridor stretch subtly upward, almost imperceptibly guiding you back toward the surface of the mountain. The incline is so gentle you barely notice it, except for the way your breath feels a touch fuller, your chest expanding more easily with each step. Soon, the passage widens further until the walls seem to melt away entirely. Instead of stone, you find yourself walking along a path made of luminous water. At first, it seems like a trick of the light, but when you look down, you see a shallow stream flowing beneath your feet, clear, cool, and glowing softly with the same gentle shimmer that filled the mirror pool. The stream doesn't soak your feet. Instead, it feels like walking on cool silk, the water supporting you with delicate, almost weightless pressure. Each step sends a ripple outward, forming patterns of light that drift ahead along the path. The ripples glow brighter as they move forward, illuminating more of the path and guiding you onward with the softness of compassion itself. You walk slowly, mesmerized by the shimmering ripples that respond to your steps. Each ripple feels like an acknowledgement, a gentle recognition of your journey, your healing, your courage. The water beneath you remains smooth and steady, carrying you forward without resistance. With every movement, you feel more connected to yourself, as if the path is reflecting the inner clarity you've been gathering. Up ahead, the luminous water begins to spread outward, widening into a glowing pool that marks the end of the corridor. As you near the pool, the air shifts again, growing cooler and sweeter. The faint hum that accompanied you becomes more melodic, like distant wind chimes carried by a soft breeze. You pause at the edge of the glowing water. The light within it flickers, not in chaos, but like a heartbeat, steady, soothing, reassuring. The pool begins to dissolve into mist that drifts upward in delicate waves, thinning as it rises until it reveals a gentle opening. Beyond it, you catch a glimpse of moonlight, soft, pale, inviting. The mist clears fully, unveiling a meadow bathed in the silver glow of the crescent moon. Soft grasses sway with the quiet rhythm of the night, their tips shimmering like subtle stars scattered across the ground. The air feels crisp and cool, but not cold, a perfect balance that embraces your skin gently. This meadow feels untouched by the world's noise, preserved only for moments of deep stillness like this one. You step forward into the open space, leaving the shimmering corridor behind. The ground beneath your feet is soft, warm from the day's memory of sunlight. The grasses cradle your steps with a tenderness that mirrors the compassion guiding you. Fireflies flicker in the distance, their tiny lights weaving slow arcs through the night air, adding a sense of quiet magic to the landscape. You walk further into the meadow, feeling the openness of the night stretch above you. The stars shimmer faintly against the deep sky, and the crescent moon watches from its high throne, gentle and silent. There's something comforting about the vastness, something that tells you there is room here for every feeling you've ever carried. You breathe deeply, letting the cool air fill your lungs. The meadow holds a rare kind of peace, the kind that doesn't simply settle around you, but settles within you as well. In this quiet expanse, you sense the presence of Avalokiteshvara subtly shifting again, guiding you toward a place where courage takes root, soft and steady. Just ahead, the meadow widens into an open field where the grass glows slightly brighter, inviting you to step deeper into its calm. And as you move forward, the night opens its arms to welcome you into the meadow of gentle strength, waiting in the next part of your journey. The glow of the luminous path fades gently behind you as you step deeper into the meadow. The grasses rise softly around your ankles, warm from the day, yet cool enough to soothe your skin. They sway in slow, rhythmic waves, moving not with wind, but with a calm pulse that seems to come from the earth itself. It feels as though the ground beneath you is breathing, steady, patient, unhurried, and with each breath, your own heartbeat begins to follow its peaceful rhythm. Above, the crescent moon hangs higher now, its silver light pouring across the meadow like a soft waterfall. It touches the tips of the grass, lighting them with a muted shimmer. You walk through this quiet field, feeling as if every blade bends gently in welcome. There is no resistance here, no tension, only the sense that this place recognizes you and has been waiting for you. A deep, quiet strength flows through the air. You feel it, not as something loud or commanding, but as something subtle, the kind of strength that doesn't need to announce itself because it has nothing to prove. The meadow carries this energy effortlessly, and you feel it brushing against your chest, loosening the last bits of tightness you didn't realize were still there. As you walk further, you begin to understand something you had forgotten. Courage doesn't always arrive in fierce forms. It doesn't always shout, or stand tall, or burn brightly. Sometimes it moves like this meadow, soft, steady, and warm. Sometimes it whispers instead of roars. Sometimes it simply shows up as the quiet willingness to take one more step, even when the day felt heavy. You pause in the center of the meadow and close your eyes. The cool night air drifts across your face, gentle as a caring hand. When you breathe in, the air carries the faint scent of wildflowers tucked somewhere among the grasses. Sweet, light, and comforting. When you breathe out, you can almost feel the worries inside you dissolving into the night sky, carried upward by something you cannot see but can wholly feel. You open your eyes again to find the meadow glowing more brightly than before. Tiny sparkles flicker near the edges of your vision, at first scattered, then growing in number as your gaze adjusts. Fireflies rise from the grass in slow arcs, their tiny lanterns pulsing like warm heartbeats. They float gently upward, gathering around you in soft clusters of golden light. Their glow is peaceful, and yet there is something deeply encouraging in their presence. They rise without hesitation, carrying light so small and yet so steady that it illuminates everything around them. You watch the fireflies drift higher, and you understand that courage is like this too. Small lights that appear when you least expect them, guiding you gently through moments that once felt dark. The fireflies begin to drift in one direction, their lights forming a faint trail that winds through the meadow. It's not a straight path, nor is it marked by anything except their soft, guiding glow. But the moment you see it, something inside you knows it is meant for you. You step forward, and the fireflies brighten in response, floating ahead in a slow, steady procession. Their tiny lights brush against the tops of the grass, creating shimmering patterns that lead you onward. Each step feels easier than the last, as though the meadow is lending its gentle strength to your feet. As you follow the trail, the grasses grow shorter and softer beneath you, turning into a thin carpet of moss that cushions every movement. The fireflies cluster more closely, forming a soft arch of light overhead, almost like a tunnel made of tiny stars. You walk beneath it with quiet wonder, feeling your heart lift in ways you cannot fully name. The further you go, the more you feel Avalokiteshvara's compassion woven into the air around you. It flows toward you like a warm breeze, brushing your shoulders, your arms, the back of your neck. It brings with it a sense of calm courage, the kind that whispers, "You can let go, you can rest, you can keep walking." The firefly trail leads toward the far end of the meadow, where the land rises slightly, forming a small hill that glows faintly in the moonlight. At the top of the hill, you can see the gentle silhouette of a small structure, something simple, perhaps made of stone or wood. From this distance, it appears quiet, humble, and imbued with a warm aura that reminds you of the bell's compassion and the sanctuary's embrace. The fireflies continue guiding you upward, their lights dancing softly around your steps. Their glow grows brighter near the hill's crest, forming a warm halo around the structure waiting there. You feel a steady calm settle into your chest, a calm that carries the unmistakable feeling of readiness. Not the kind born from certainty, but the kind born from softness, from knowing you are guided, supported, and held. With a slow, deep breath, you step toward the crest of the hill, drawn gently to the next place of release, the grove of fireflies leading you into a new lesson about letting go. As you reach the crest of the hill, the fireflies gather more thickly around you, their lights flickering in gentle, golden pulses. They rise from the grass like tiny lanterns lifted by the night itself, drifting upward in slow spirals. Some float close enough that you feel the faintest warmth from their glow, so subtle it's almost imagined, yet soothing all the same. Their presence softens the silence around you, turning the hilltop into a sanctuary of shimmering calm. You stand still for a moment, letting the fireflies drift around you. Each small pulse of light feels like a quiet encouragement, as if every tiny body carries a message meant just for you. You watch them rise through the night air, one by one, until their soft trails resemble strands of stardust ascending into the sky. And in the way they lift so effortlessly, you begin to recognize something deeply familiar, a lesson whispered not in words, but in motion. A gentle breeze sweeps across the hilltop, brushing against your face with a warm tenderness. It catches the fireflies mid-flight, nudging them higher, swirling them into patterns that shimmer like constellations forming and dissolving just for your eyes. Some drift toward you and then lift away again. Others circle around your hands, hovering as if waiting for you to open your palms to them. You do. You lift your hand slightly, not expecting anything, not asking for anything. But the gesture is enough. A cluster of fireflies gathers around your fingertips, their glow pulsing in slow harmony. For a moment, you see something reflected in their tiny lights. Not an image, but a feeling. These little bodies, so fragile and gentle, move with absolute trust in the air that carries them. They don't hold on to anything. They don't resist. They simply rise. And in their rising, you feel a quiet truth inside yourself. Letting go doesn't always mean pushing something away. Sometimes it means allowing something to lift naturally, like a firefly carried by the breeze. A soft tightness inside your chest loosens. Another part of you, one you've held guarded for far too long, begins to soften at the edges. You watch as a single firefly drifts toward you, hovering right before your heart. Its glow brightens, just slightly, and for a moment, you imagine placing one lingering worry into that light. Not in a dramatic gesture, but with a simple breath. So you exhale, slowly, gently. As your breath leaves your body, the firefly rises. Its light seems to carry something invisible away with it, something you didn't need to keep. You watch it drift higher, joining the others in the night sky. You feel lighter in a way that surprises you, not because the worry is gone, but because you allowed yourself to set it free. Another firefly rises beside it, then another. Soon dozens of them float upward, as though each one has taken a tiny burden from the surface of your heart. Their glow fills the air with a quiet magic that feels both ancient and deeply personal. The hill around you brightens with the soft radiance of their ascent, turning the night into a warm tapestry of golden trails. As the fireflies continue to rise, the landscape shifts gently. The soft glow reveals the shape of a small shrine at the top of the hill, previously hidden in the quiet shadows. It stands a short distance ahead, humble and serene, its wooden frame bathed in the warm light of the drifting fireflies. The structure radiates a kind of ancient gentleness, as though countless prayers and whispered hopes have passed through its walls. You move slowly toward it, guided by the shimmering swarm above your head. The grasses part easily around your steps, brushing softly against your ankles. The air grows warmer near the shrine, carrying a faint scent of lotus and sandalwood, comforting, familiar, peaceful. The fireflies gather around the entrance, forming a gentle arch of light that seems to invite you inside. Their glow dances across the wooden beams, revealing delicate carvings of lotus petals, swirling clouds, and flowing water, symbols of compassion, release, and wisdom. You reach the threshold and pause, letting the warmth of the firefly light settle into your skin. The shrine's door stands open, not wide, but enough for you to sense a deep stillness waiting inside. A stillness that feels welcoming rather than empty. The fireflies drift upward in a final wave, their golden bodies looking like lifted burdens, disappearing slowly into the deep blue sky. You step forward, the soft glow behind you fading as the quiet embrace of the shrine surrounds you, ready to reveal a deeper mercy, a deeper peace in the sanctuary that awaits. You step inside the shrine, and immediately the air shifts into a deeper, quieter stillness, one that feels almost sacred. The faint glow from the fireflies lingers behind you like a warm memory, but the space ahead draws your attention inward. The interior is lit by a single lantern suspended from the ceiling, its flame steady, its light spreading in gentle waves across the wooden walls. Shadows gather in soft folds between the beams, but they hold no fear, only calm. The scent of sandalwood is stronger here, mingling with something even softer, like lotus petals drifting on warm water. It fills your lungs with every slow inhale, grounding you in the moment more fully than before. You move further inside and notice how welcoming the space feels. The floorboards creak quietly beneath your feet, but the sound is comforting, as though the shrine is acknowledging your presence with a gentle greeting. At the center of the room stands a small altar carved of smooth stone. It is simple, almost humble, yet its presence radiates a warmth that feels unmistakably compassionate. Atop the altar rests a statue of Avalokiteshvara, not grand or imposing, but peaceful and serene. The figure's expression is soft, eyes lowered in an eternal gesture of kindness, hands poised in a mudra that symbolizes protection and infinite compassion. You feel something inside you settle as you look upon the statue, not because you expect anything from it, but because it holds a presence that reminds you of what compassion truly feels like: steady, unconditional, and always near. The light from the lantern flickers gently across the statue's surface, creating shifting patterns that make the carved face seem almost alive with warmth. For a moment, you imagine the statue breathing with you, sharing in the quiet rhythm of the room. A cushion sits at the base of the altar, inviting you without a word. You lower yourself onto it, the fabric soft and worn from years of quiet prayers, hopes, and reflections left behind by others who once sat where you sit now. When you close your eyes, you feel yourself sink deeper into the shrine's embrace, as though the walls, the lantern, the statue, and even the air itself are holding you in a soft, compassionate cradle. The silence grows fuller. Your breath becomes slower. Your thoughts drift gently, lighter than they've felt in a long time. Here, you don't have to solve anything. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to perform or pretend. You simply exist, and that is enough. The statue seems to watch over you with a kindness that reaches into the smallest corners of your heart. You sense Avalokiteshvara's presence, not as a vision, but as a feeling of warmth expanding quietly inside your chest. It spreads outward through your body, easing tension from your shoulders, softening your jaw, unclenching the places that usually stay guarded. After a while, you open your eyes again. The lantern light has dimmed slightly, shifting into a softer glow that feels even more intimate. You rise gently from the cushion and stand before the altar. The statue's serene face glows faintly in the half-light, as though illuminated from within. Something catches your attention just beyond the altar, a thin line of light tracing the outline of the back wall. You step closer, and the line brightens, revealing the faint shape of a door that seems to have been carved directly into the wood itself. It wasn't visible before. It appeared only after you allowed yourself to rest, as though the shrine opened a deeper space in response to your quiet surrender. The outline glows brighter, and the wood shifts softly, parting like curtains drawn aside by invisible hands. Beyond the opening, a narrow staircase rises upward, carved from smooth stone and bathed in a pale, celestial glow. The steps seem to lead not toward another room, but toward the sky itself, ascending into a soft mist that holds promises of greater peace. The air flowing down from the staircase carries a gentle warmth, not unlike the warmth you felt in the sanctuary or the chamber below, yet somehow lighter, more expansive. It brushes your skin with a tenderness that feels like a quiet invitation, an encouragement to rise, to continue, to step deeper into compassion's embrace. You take one slow breath, filling your lungs with the shrine's calming scent. The lantern behind you flickers once more, casting a final wave of warmth across the room. You feel gratitude settle in your chest for the fireflies, for the meadow, for the mirror pool, and for this quiet space that held you with such care. Then, with steady steps and an open heart, you move toward the glowing staircase. As you place your foot on the first stone step, the soft mist above seems to shift gently, opening a path that leads upward into the tender glow, waiting in the next part of your journey. The mist around you thins slowly, parting in gentle swirls, as if responding to the steady rhythm of your breath. Each curl of vapor drifts upward, revealing glimpses of soft light beyond, like dawn rising behind an unseen horizon. The air carries a warmth that wasn't there moments ago, subtle but undeniable, blooming from somewhere just ahead. You step forward, guided not by sight, but by a feeling that settles deep in your chest, warm and reassuring. The path beneath your feet feels different now, smoother, almost luminous. It reflects faint glimmers of pale gold with every step you take, as though the ground itself recognizes your presence. The mist continues to draw back, reluctant yet obedient, revealing an expanse of soft radiance ahead. You pause at the edge of this glowing space, letting the warmth drift toward you in a gentle wave. It touches your skin first, a warmth that relaxes the muscles in your shoulders, then spreads across your arms, your ribs, your throat. It is not heat, it is comfort, a sensation, like stepping into a memory of being held, safe and unjudged. The feeling deepens with each inhale, becoming a quiet truth your body understands instantly. You are nearing something sacred. The mist parts fully, unveiling a softly lit clearing suspended between earth and sky. Light pools across the open space in delicate ripples, shimmering the way moonlight shivers across calm water. The glow does not come from torches or lanterns or any visible source. It emanates from the air itself, from the silence, from the sense of presence that fills the space. You feel it before you see it, a gentle awareness resting against your heart, like a warm palm laid lightly over your chest. A quiet knowing rises within you, not formed of words, but of deep, instinctive recognition. Your breath slows, your heartbeat softens, and then, very softly, the radiance ahead of you begins to take shape. It is not a figure in the ordinary sense, not a body not a face, not even a distinct silhouette. Instead, the light gathers into a form shaped by comfort itself, a tall, graceful outline made entirely of luminous compassion. It moves with a calm so deep, the world itself seems to exhale around it. The glow brightens softly at the center, shimmering like a flame shielded from wind, steady and unwavering. Your chest warms further, as though responding to an embrace you never expected but somehow always longed for. There is no fear here, only recognition, only relief, only the feeling of coming home to something ancient and infinitely gentle. Avalokiteshvara's presence stands before you, not as a face or a body, but as pure compassion given form. The radiance shifts subtly, revealing hints of flowing shapes like garments made of moonlight. A delicate gesture rises from the luminous outline, a hand formed not of flesh, but of warm, shimmering light. It lifts slowly, tenderly, with a motion that feels like a quiet welcome. The gesture is not grand. It doesn't command. It simply invites you closer, as if saying without words, "You are safe. You are seen. Come as you are." Your breath catches gently, not in shock, but in awe. You step forward, drawn by the warmth that deepens with every movement. The air becomes softer, more fragrant, carrying the faint scent of lotus and sandalwood. Your thoughts quiet as though the light itself absorbs them, leaving only soft awareness behind. The closer you come, the more the radiance shifts, never overwhelming, always gentle. The light seems to adjust to your pace, to your heart, to the quiet tremble inside you that still holds remnants of old fears. Avalokiteshvara's outline bends slightly, as if listening to your unspoken thoughts, understanding every feeling you carry. Another soft gesture beckons you again, directing your attention towards something behind the shimmering form. The mist parts once more, revealing a pathway made of luminous stone, smooth, pale, almost transparent. It stretches forward like a celestial walkway suspended in the air, glowing softly with the same gentle warmth surrounding Avalokiteshvara. You sense the invitation immediately, not a command, not a demand, just a compassionate nudge forward. Avalokiteshvara turns slightly toward the path, their radiant outline moving with the grace of flowing water. Light gathers at the end of their extended hand, illuminating the walkway even more clearly. The message is wordless, yet unmistakable. Walk with me. There is more to see, more to release, more to understand. Your heart softens further, opening in ways you didn't realize it could. You take a slow, steady breath. The light around you pulses once, twice, gently guiding your steps toward the glowing walkway ahead. Avalokiteshvara's presence moves beside you, calm and unwavering. Together, you begin your first steps onto the celestial path that leads into deeper realms of compassion, toward a place where understanding expands and the heart becomes light. You step onto the luminous pathway, and the ground beneath your feet glows with each gentle movement, as though acknowledging your presence with soft pulses of light. Avalokiteshvara's radiant form glides beside you, not ahead, not behind, but perfectly in step with your pace. There are no footsteps, no sound, only a serene stillness shaped by warmth and understanding. Though no words are spoken, the air between you hums with an unspoken companionship, a quiet tenderness that guides your heart toward ease. The celestial walkway extends before you like a ribbon woven from moonlight and soft water. Every few steps, delicate ripples of light move outward, as if the path itself is adjusting to your emotions, softening any lingering tension still holding space within you. Avalokiteshvara's presence moves with grace, their form made of light that bends and flows. It's like a flame, steady in still air. You feel their compassion, not as something external, but as something rising from within your chest, warm, gentle, expanding with every breath. The world around you grows quieter, softer, more dreamlike. The mist that once obscured your path now rests along the edges of the walkway, curling like a protective veil. It rises and falls in slow rhythms, echoing the tender calm that surrounds you. Above, the sky stretches wide and endless, painted in deep shades of midnight blue. Stars shimmer faintly, scattered like grains of silver, drifting across a perfectly still canvas. As you walk, you sense Avalokiteshvara listening, not with ears, but with presence. Every emotion that flickers inside you feels known, held, and accepted. There is nothing you need to hide, nothing you must explain. Their compassion does not pry. It simply stays, steady and unwavering. And in that presence, you begin to soften in ways you didn't realize were possible. Your steps become lighter. Your thoughts become gentler. The quiet worries that sometimes cling to the edges of your mind now drift away like loose feathers caught in a kind wind. You begin to recognize something profound. This path is not only guiding you forward, it is guiding you deeper into yourself, into the parts you rarely allow to rest. Avalokiteshvara's form brightens slightly, casting a halo of warm gold across the walkway. The light stretches outward in soft waves, illuminating more of the space ahead. You lift your gaze and see that the pathway begins to widen, its edges becoming more organic, more fluid. The soft mist parts, unveiling a new landscape emerging slowly from the glow. At first, it looks like starlight reflected on water. Then, the shimmering deepens, revealing shapes, delicate curves, soft blooms, and shimmering petals that sway even without wind. A garden materializes before you, not bound by earth alone, but woven from light and quiet magic. Blossoms shaped from starlight open gently as you approach, releasing a faint, cool fragrance that wraps around you like a soothing sigh. The walkway gradually blends into a path of soft, glowing petals that cushion every step. The garden stretches wide, bordered by shimmering trees with leaves that glow like warm embers. Their branches hang low, offering shade and shelter, yet the garden is bright with its own celestial radiance. Fireflies drift through the air, their tiny lights floating like drifting prayers. You step deeper into the starlit garden, and the ground beneath you feels softer than moss, warmer than sunlight. The petals around your ankles glow with every movement, sending soft sparks of light that rise briefly before dissolving into the night. Avalokiteshvara walks beside you still, their presence merging seamlessly with the garden's serenity. Without speaking, you feel the Bodhisattva guiding you toward the garden's heart. The air grows even gentler, filled with a warmth that feels impossibly tender. You sense that this place holds something meant for you, something healing, something quietly transformative. The stars above seem to gather closer, their light shimmering in delicate patterns across the garden floor. Avalokiteshvara pauses, with you at the center of the clearing. Their radiance shifts slightly, dimming and brightening in slow cycles, almost like a heartbeat. You feel a soft vibration beneath your feet, as though the garden itself is awakening to your presence. The air grows warmer, thicker with calm. Something waits just beyond the next breath. You stand at the threshold of a deeper peace, held by Avalokiteshvara's quiet companionship, surrounded by the living glow of the starlit garden. This place feels like the beginning of another layer of understanding, one shaped by gentleness, reflection, and the soft unraveling of the heart's hidden knots. You take a slow breath, letting the garden's warmth settle inside your chest. Avalokiteshvara's light shifts forward, softly illuminating a pathway of shimmering petals that leads into the garden's inner sanctum, where a deeper stillness waits to welcome you into the next chapter of your journey. The soft path of glowing petals carries you farther into the heart of the garden. Each step releases a delicate shimmer beneath your feet, as though the blossoms themselves are whispering quiet encouragements into the night. The air here feels almost enchanted, infused with a warmth that settles deep into your chest and gently eases the places that once felt tense or uncertain. Above you, the sky unfurls into a vast canvas of twilight, scattered with stars that pulse like distant heartbeats. The garden opens wide, revealing a breathtaking sight. Stars blooming across the ground like flowers. Tiny points of light sprout from the earth itself, rising into shapes that resemble blossoms made of pure radiance. Some glimmer softly, like candle flames sheltered from wind. Others shine more brightly, casting gentle beams that dance along the petals of neighboring lights. The entire space feels alive, breathing in rhythms that mirror your own. Avalokiteshvara's luminous form stands quietly at your side, and in their presence, the garden's glow feels even more soothing, almost as if their compassion is amplifying every shimmer. The Bodhisattva's figure remains soft and fluid, like moonlit water, yet you sense an unwavering steadiness beneath that gentle exterior. Being near them feels like resting beneath warm blankets after a long day. Held, protected, deeply understood. As you walk further, the light flowers sway gently, though no wind touches them. Their slow movements create ripples of color that drift outward, painting the ground in shimmering hues. Pale gold, soft rose, quiet blue, and delicate silver. Each color seems to resonate with a different part of your heart. Comfort, courage, release, clarity. They rise from the earth, not as decoration, but as expressions of the garden's compassion, each bloom carrying a message you can feel more than interpret. A petal of pure light detaches from one of the glowing blossoms. It floats toward you in a slow spiral, drifting with an elegance that feels almost intentional. When it nears your chest, it hovers in place, its soft radiance illuminating your breaths. Without effort, you feel your lungs expand more freely, your heartbeat steadier, your thoughts unburdened. The petal's glow seems to pulse in harmony with your own rhythm. Inside that light, you sense a quiet reassurance that even the parts of you weighed down by doubt are worthy of gentleness, that you have permission to ease your grip on old fears. That compassion exists not outside you, but within you, waiting patiently for your attention. The petal drifts upward again, continuing its slow ascent until it merges with the field of stars blooming above. You watch it join the others, becoming part of the greater constellation that hovers over the garden. The sight brings a soft exhale from your chest. Something loosens inside you, something small, yet meaningful enough to feel. Avalokiteshvara moves forward slightly, their radiance illuminating a wider stretch of the garden. The light reveals a cluster of blossoms grouped together, forming a soft arc that glows more brightly than the rest. Their light seems to weave itself into a path, one shaped not by stone or soil, but by shimmering petals drifting along the ground. As you move toward the arc, the stars above respond with brighter pulses, echoing a sense of guidance. The glowing blossoms part just enough to reveal a serene pavilion in the distance. Its silhouette appears gradually, shaped from moonlit beams and draped in curtains of soft radiance. The pavilion stands quietly in the center of the garden, elevated on a gentle rise of glowing earth. It looks ancient and sacred, yet entirely welcoming. The path of light petals leads directly to it. You follow slowly, letting the warmth of the garden soothe every step. The star flowers lean slightly toward the path, their glow rising as you pass, as if honoring your presence. The air grows sweeter, carrying hints of jasmine and night blossoms, and each breath draws you deeper into tranquility. Near the base of the rise, Avalokiteshvara pauses. Their luminous form turns toward you, radiating a softness so profound it feels like an embrace in pure light. No words are spoken, but their presence conveys a single, gentle assurance. You are ready. You continue upward toward the pavilion, your steps quiet and unhurried. The structure glows more brightly as you approach, shimmering with an otherworldly calm. Its open archways welcome you, bathing the interior in warm, moonlit gold. At the threshold, you pause briefly, not from hesitation, but from reverence. The pavilion feels like the heart of the garden, a sanctuary within a sanctuary, shaped specifically for rest and reflection. You step inside, carried by the soft glow of the pavilion's light, ready to enter the next, deeper moment of compassion awaiting within. The pavilion's soft radiance wraps around you the moment you step inside, its warm glow dissolving the faint coolness of the night air it clung to your skin outside. It feels like entering a place made entirely from compassion, quiet, gentle, and impossibly patient. The floor beneath you is smooth and warm, as though it has absorbed centuries of peaceful footsteps from travelers who sought solace here long before you arrived. Avalokiteshvara's luminous presence follows quietly behind, their light blending with the golden glow of the pavilion until you can no longer tell where one ends and the other begins. Their radiance feels softer here, tender in a way that encourages your breath to slow and your shoulders to drop. Even your heartbeat begins to shift, falling into a tranquil rhythm that matches the subtle pulse of the pavilion's light. You walk toward the center of the open space, where a circular platform rises gently from the ground. It's covered in a fabric that looks like woven moonlight, pale, shimmering, soft enough to cradle even the heaviest of emotions. When you place your hand upon it, the material responds with a gentle warmth that spreads through your fingertips, up your arm, and across your chest. The sensation is comforting in a way that feels deeply personal, as though the platform recognizes what you've carried. You sit slowly, allowing your body to sink into the embrace of the moonlit fabric. The moment you settle, the entire pavilion sighs with you, its beams glowing slightly brighter, its air growing even quieter. Avalokiteshvara stands at your side, their presence steady and calm, a beacon of understanding that radiates without demanding attention. Your eyes soften as you gaze toward the open archways of the pavilion. The starlit garden sways gently outside, its blossoms glowing in soft pulses that echo your breath. Fireflies drift lazily through the air, their movements slow and unhurried. Everything feels synchronized here. Your body, your breath, the garden, the light. It's as though the entire space has been arranged to hold you with utmost care. A warmth rises in your chest. A memory surfaces, not sharp, not painful, just present. It's one of those memories you tuck away because life doesn't always leave room to feel it fully. But here, in this gentle pavilion, the memory rises without resistance, asking only to be acknowledged. You let it come. You let it breathe. Avalokiteshvara's light shifts, slightly, as though offering silent reassurance. You don't need to speak. You don't need to explain. You simply allow the memory to exist in the warmth of your awareness. And as it settles, the platform beneath you glows a little brighter, gently drawing the emotion out of your chest, holding it with compassion too vast to measure. Another feeling rises, an old fear, quiet but persistent. You've carried it for longer than you realize, shaping parts of your heart in subtle ways. Here, though, the fear feels smaller, not because it's insignificant, but because it's held so gently that its weight no longer overwhelms you. You feel Avalokiteshvara's presence leaning closer, their radiant outline shimmering with understanding deeper than words. You take a slow, steady breath. On your exhale, something loosens. The fear drifts from your chest, lifted not by force, but by compassion, carried upward like a firefly rising into the night. The pavilion glows warmly in response, as if honoring your courage to release something that once felt too heavy to touch. More emotions follow, soft ones, sharp ones, unspoken ones. But here, every feeling finds a place to rest. Nothing is rejected. Nothing is judged. Avalokiteshvara receives each tender piece of your inner world with endless patience, their light cradling everything you offer. You feel the gift of being fully seen, fully accepted, without needing to be anything other than what you are in this moment. The air grows even stiller. Your breath deepens. A profound calm settles into your body, the kind that feels like it seeps into your bones, loosening the tightest corners of your heart. You realize, with gentle clarity, that you are finally experiencing true surrender, not the surrender of defeat, but the surrender of release. The surrender that comes from trusting compassion enough to lay your burdens down. Somewhere near the back of the pavilion, a soft shimmer appears. The golden walls ripple faintly, revealing the outline of a small doorway. It glows with a quietly welcoming light, as though the pavilion itself has opened a deeper chamber because it senses your readiness. Avalokiteshvara turns their radiant form toward it, their gesture filled with serenity. You rise slowly from the moonlit platform, feeling lighter, like something deep inside you has finally unclenched. The pavilion's warmth follows you as you walk toward the glowing doorway, each step guided by the compassion that now fills your chest like warm, steady light. And as you enter the quiet inner chamber, the space ahead opens into the next gentle. The doorway's quiet glow expands around you as you step inside, and the air shifts into a calm so deep it feels almost tangible, like walking into warm water that supports your entire body. The chamber is smaller than the pavilion, yet it feels vast in its stillness. The walls radiate a gentle light, neither golden nor silver, but a soft blend of both, like dawn and dusk, merging in perfect balance. The room holds a silence that wraps around your shoulders the way a soft blanket would, comforting and steady. You pause at the threshold, letting the tranquility seep into your skin. Avalokiteshvara's luminous form follows you in, but their light dims into a more intimate glow, as if matching the chamber's quiet energy. Their presence feels closer here, less like an external guide and more like a reflection of your own compassionate center awakening. You sense that this space is not only a room, but a mirror of your inner landscape, one that has been waiting for the chance to breathe freely again. A faint trail of incense rises from a small burner near the center of the chamber. The smoke curls upward in thin, delicate spirals, its movement slow and graceful. The scent is soft, an impossible blend of lotus, jasmine, and something faintly sweet like honey warmed by the sun. You breathe it in, and the fragrance settles deep in your chest, calming thoughts you didn't even realize were stirring. You step closer to the center of the chamber, where a circular woven mat lies gently on the floor. The material feels warm when you touch it with the tips of your fingers. It reminds you of sunlight resting on smooth stone. With a slow inhale, you ease yourself onto the mat, letting the chamber's stillness cradle your body. Avalokiteshvara stands quietly beside you, their light a soft halo that seems to hum with reassurance. You close your eyes, and something inside you begins to settle. The emotions you released in the pavilion, fears, memories, unspoken tensions, now drift gently within you, no longer sharp or overwhelming. They move like leaves floating on calm water, present yet softened. This chamber doesn't ask you to push anything away. Instead, it invites everything inside you to rest, to take its natural shape without pressure or expectation. Your breath deepens on its own. With every inhale, peace enters your body. With every exhale, peace expands. The softness of the chamber seems to align with your lungs, your heartbeat, your thoughts, harmonizing everything into a single, steady rhythm. You sense Avalokiteshvara's presence shifting subtly, their radiance syncing with your breath until compassion flows through you like a warm tide rising from within. Images drift gently across your mind, not memories, but impressions. The fireflies rising into the sky, the luminous petals beneath your feet, the ripple of light on the mirror pool. Each image appears with a quiet intention, as if reminding you of the strength you've uncovered along this journey. Not strength that pushes, but strength that accepts, strength that breathes, strength that forgives. Your heart feels different now, not lighter in a fragile way, but grounded in a new softness. The kind of softness that holds instead of collapses, the kind that allows space for sorrow and joy to coexist without overwhelming you. This chamber is helping you gather the pieces of yourself, not to hide them, but to integrate them gently, to let them sit together in peace. The incense smoke drifts across your vision again, drawing your attention without urgency. Its movements form patterns you can't quite name. Spirals, waves, tiny loops, as if expressing the silent language of healing. You watch the smoke rise and fall, and with each motion, you feel your emotions settling deeper into balance. Avalokiteshvara's form steps closer, their light warming the air around you. You feel their compassion reach toward you, not as a force, but as a quiet presence that reminds your heart how to soften without fear. Their radiance settles lightly against your shoulders, like a hand resting there in gentle reassurance. The peace you feel now isn't given to you. It's uncovered within you, rising naturally now that you have space to breathe. You sit in that serenity for a long moment, letting every thought, every emotion, every breath find its rightful place inside you. Nothing fights for attention. Nothing demands to be fixed. Everything simply rests in harmony. As the incense smoke rises higher, it begins to drift toward the far side of the chamber. It stretches into a thin ribbon of light, pointing toward a darkened alcove you hadn't noticed before. The soft glow from Avalokiteshvara brightens just enough to reveal the entrance. Another passageway, narrow and inviting, waiting quietly at the chamber's edge. The smoke curves gently into it, as if guiding you forward. The chamber's peace settles into your chest, becoming something you will carry with you rather than something you leave behind. You rise slowly, steady, restored. Avalokiteshvara's light gathers softly at your side as you take your first step toward the alcove, ready to follow the trail of incense into the next chapter of your journey. The narrow alcove welcomes you with a soft pull, the air dimming into a warm twilight as you enter. The scent of incense follows closely behind, its delicate trail curling through the passageway like a ribbon of memory. Each breath brings a familiar sweetness. Lotus, jasmine, a hint of sandalwood, but now something new weaves through the fragrance, something bright and tender. It feels like warmth rising from the pages of your own forgotten happiness. You follow the scent deeper into the passage. The walls glow with faint strokes of amber light, their patterns shifting gently as if painted by the drifting incense itself. The air becomes warmer, wrapping around you like a soft embrace. You inhale slowly, and with that breath, a gentle sensation blooms in your chest, subtle at first, then unmistakable. A memory rises, unbidden but welcome. A moment from childhood, perhaps. The warmth of sunlight on your arms. The sound of laughter spilling from a place long buried beneath responsibility and time. You can almost feel the breeze that once brushed through your hair, carrying the scent of summer and uncomplicated days. The memory doesn't ache. It doesn't sting. It simply arrives, like a firefly landing softly in your palm. The incense swirls around you again, forming a thin arc that drifts ahead like a guiding thread. More memories rise as you continue walking, not loud ones, not dramatic ones, but gentle flashes of simple joys that once made your heart feel light. A quiet morning spent doing nothing. The soft rhythm of rain tapping on windows while you wrapped yourself in a blanket. A smile from someone you cared for deeply. The warmth of shared silence. None of these memories demand attention. They come with the same softness as the incense itself, arriving only to remind you of the parts of your heart that still glow beneath the weight of daily life. You feel your chest expand in a slow, steady breath, each inhale brightening the warmth within you. The passageway opens into a larger chamber, quiet and softly illuminated by floating lanterns shaped like lotus petals. Each lantern flickers gently, mirroring the rhythm of the incense drifting through the air. The floor beneath you glows faintly, carved with smooth, curved patterns resembling ripples on water. The chamber feels like a vessel meant for holding joy, an archive of every gentle moment you ever forgot to keep. Avalokiteshvara's luminous presence steps calmly beside you, their radiance blending seamlessly with the lantern light. They do not gesture or speak. Instead, their stillness encourages you to linger with your rising memories. You feel their compassion expand around you, creating a space where even the smallest joys can shine without being overshadowed by sorrow or fear. You sit on the warm floor as the lanterns drift closer, forming a slow, circular dance around you. The incense thickens just slightly, its sweet fragrance growing deeper, richer. As you breathe in, another memory rises, a recent one this time. A moment of quiet happiness you didn't realize had settled so gently into your past. A conversation that made you feel understood. A peaceful night when you let your worries go. For a little while, the tenderness of someone's kindness when you needed it most. The chamber responds to each memory with a soft pulse of light, as though affirming the truth of your experiences. You feel something inside you strengthen, something warm, resilient, quietly brave. Joy, even in small doses, is powerful. It doesn't erase pain, but it adds something steady beneath it, a foundation you can return to whenever the world feels heavy. You allow the memories to drift around you like the lanterns, floating, glowing, warm. Each one adds a layer of softness to your heart, forming a gentle armor made not of hardness, but of tenderness. You realize that joy, when remembered, becomes a light that never fully disappears. It only waits patiently for you to return to it. The incense smoke thickens again, rising into a brighter thread that stretches toward the far end of the chamber. It curves upward, brushing against a high archway you hadn't noticed before. The archway glows with moonlit silver, shimmering with a quiet invitation. Avalokiteshvara's radiance shifts toward the archway, their light expanding just enough to beckon you gently forward. You rise from the glowing floor, feeling stronger, steadier, more whole. The fragrance of remembered happiness lingers in your lungs, spreading warmth through your ribs as though joy has carved out more room inside you. The lanterns drift upward, scattering like stars into the higher reaches of the chamber. Their glow merges with the soft moonlight gathering at the archway. Beyond it, you glimpse a wide, open terrace bathed entirely in silver light, a place where the night sky stretches close enough to touch. You step toward the archway, guided by the rising thread of incense. It leads you onto the moonlit terrace ahead, where the vastness of the sky waits to receive the strengthened heart you carry into the next chapter. Stepping through the silver archway, you emerge onto the terrace, and the world opens around you in a slow, breathtaking sweep. The sky stretches wide above, deeper and calmer than any night you've ever seen. Stars shimmer, not as distant pinpricks, but as living lights, breathing softly in the quiet. Their glow falls upon the terrace like soft dust, settling over the stone in tender flashes of silver and pale blue. A cool breeze rises to greet you, gentle as a whispered blessing. It brushes along your cheeks and shoulders with the familiarity of something ancient, something that has wandered across countless skies, carrying stories older than memory itself. The air here is clearer, lighter, almost weightless. Every breath feels like drinking from a spring of stillness that has waited patiently for you to arrive. Avalokiteshvara's luminous presence stands beside you, their radiance blending into the night so seamlessly that it seems the sky itself bows to their compassion. Their outline shimmers faintly, reflecting the quiet depths of the stars above. Though they do not speak, their presence encourages your heart to soften, to open, to rest. You approach the center of the terrace, where the stone is warm under your feet despite the coolness of the night air. The surface shimmers with fine patterns etched into it, curves, spirals, and lines that resemble constellations. When you touch the markings with your fingertips, a faint pulse moves through them, responding to your touch with an intimate glow. It feels as though the terrace recognizes you, as though you have left footprints here long before this moment. The breeze strengthens for a heartbeat, lifting your hair, then softens again. It carries familiar scents, the lingering sweetness of the incense, the faint floral whisper from the garden below, and something new, a crisp, celestial fragrance like chilled moonlight resting on fresh snow. It fills your lungs with clarity, and you feel your mind grow quieter. Thoughts that once hummed at the edges of your awareness now dissolve into the vastness around you. You lift your gaze to the sky. The stars ripple in gentle patterns, as if responding to the slow rhythm of your breathing. Some shimmer brighter, others dim and brighten again, as though communicating in pulses of light. The night feels alive, not in a loud or overwhelming way, but in a tender, peaceful vibrancy that fills every inch of your being. Avalokiteshvara's presence grows warmer beside you, and without needing words, you feel what they wish for you to understand. Stillness is not emptiness. It is nourishment, a place where your heart can slow enough to hear itself, a space where healing can move without being rushed, a moment where you can gather every quiet part of yourself and let them settle into harmony. You move to the edge of the terrace, where a low, stone railing opens the view even wider. Beneath you, the world is shrouded in soft clouds, glowing gently in the moonlit shadows. The clouds drift and part, revealing glimpses of distant peaks, shimmering rivers, and valleys that seem carved from dreams. Everything below you seems hushed, resting beneath the blanket of night. You rest your hands on the smooth stone railing. The stone is cool, grounding you in a way that feels steady and safe. The wind that rises from below carries a low, soothing hum, the sound of mountains breathing beneath the sky. It vibrates faintly through the railing, through your palms, and into your chest. It's a reminder that even the earth itself knows how to rest. Your heart responds to the stillness. You feel it slow, soften, expand. Emotions settle like dust swirling gently in a sunbeam before floating quietly downward. Your breath grows deeper, fuller. Each inhale draws in peace. Each exhale releases tension. This terrace feels like the threshold of something vast, an invitation to surrender the last fragments of unease still clinging to the edges of your being. Avalokiteshvara steps closer, their radiance warming the air. Their compassion wraps around you like a soft, luminous shawl. You feel held, not physically, but in a way that touches the deepest layers of your spirit. Your eyes drift closed for a moment as the night embraces you. Even silence feels loving here. When you open your eyes again, something has shifted. The breeze gathers at the far side of the terrace, lifting small motes of silver light from the stonework. The motes swirl upward, forming a faint trail that arcs gently toward another opening carved into the terrace wall. A pathway shaped from pure moonlight, subtle yet unmistakably calling you forward. The trail glows with quiet promise. It feels like a breath, drawn by the night, waiting for your next step. Avalokiteshvara turns their light toward the moonlit opening, their presence offering a tender encouragement. And with your heart calmed by the celestial stillness, you walk toward the glowing passage, ready to follow where the moonlit path will lead you next. The moonlit path curves before you, glowing softly like a silver thread unspooling into the night. The moment you take your first step onto it, a gentle breeze rises from the far end of the terrace. It moves with the quiet grace of something ancient, something that has traveled through valleys of silence, across oceans of sky, through chambers of memory, carrying with it the calm of countless worlds. When it brushes against your skin, the touch is so light and tender that your breath deepens without thought. The breeze carries the faintest scent of blossoms, lotus, jasmine, a hint of warm cedar, woven into the air as delicately as whispered words. It feels like a message, not in language, but in sensation. A reassurance that whatever you once feared was too heavy, for the world is being lifted, softened, spread gently into the vastness of the night. You pause, letting the cool touch move across your shoulders, your arms, your face. Every place the breeze touches seems to unburden itself, loosening knots you forgot were there. As you walk deeper along the moonlit pathway, the breeze begins to swirl gently around you. It gathers in slow spirals, encircling you with a warmth that feels like compassion given shape. Tiny motes of silver light rise within the currents, drifting upward like small stars, carried on invisible wings. They shimmer softly, reflecting the glow of the night sky above. The air around you feels alive, alive with tenderness, alive with promise, alive with the soft hum of healing. Avalokiteshvara appears beside you once more, their luminous form blending seamlessly with the whispering breeze. Their light ripples outward, merging with the drifting motes until everything around you glimmers with compassion. The breeze seems to respond to their presence, its currents growing warmer, steadier, more comforting. You feel the Bodhisattva's compassion deepening the wind, enriching it with a feeling so gentle it borders on profound. The breeze shifts direction and brushes softly against your chest. It lingers there, as if listening to your heartbeat. You sense something subtle but unmistakable. The breeze remembers every moment of your pain and every moment of your courage. It holds your sorrow with reverence and your joy with celebration. It carries echoes of every gentle intention you've ever had, every quiet kindness you've ever offered, every small grace you've experienced or given. The realization forms not as a thought, but as a warmth spreading through your ribs. You have never been alone, not even once. The wind gathers around you again, lifting lightly, as though encouraging your heart to rise with it. You inhale, and the air fills your lungs with a peace that feels both familiar and brand new. You exhale, and your breath joins the breeze, merging with its healing currents. The world grows softer around you, edges blurring into silver light and gentle shadows. Ahead, the path grows wider, the breeze grows brighter. The motes of starlight increase, swirling in gentle patterns that remind you of constellations slowly shifting, finding new shapes. You feel as though the wind is showing you something, guiding you toward an understanding too delicate to reveal all at once. It drifts close to your ear, carrying not words, but a sensation so intimate it feels like a whisper. You are held. You are seen. You are healing. The path leads you deeper into the glow, and the breeze sweeps ahead, brushing through the air with growing purpose. Up ahead, the silver light concentrates into a soft, radiant veil that shimmers like a curtain made of moonbeams. The breeze gathers at its base, stirring the luminous threads until they sway and ripple as though alive. The motes of starlight drift into the shimmering veil, disappearing through it like wishes slipping into gentle dreams. Avalokiteshvara stands beside you, their radiant form brightening just enough to illuminate the curtain of light more clearly. The breeze circles you once more, before pushing forward, nudging the veil open with a tenderness that feels almost like a guiding hand. The curtain parts without resistance, its strands of light shifting aside like soft fabric touched by wind. Beyond it, you can see the glow of another realm, warmer, softer, deeper, waiting with a calm that seems to call your name. You step forward, guided by the whispering breeze, ready to enter the next sanctuary where healing grows even more luminous. And as the curtain of light opens fully, you walk into the soft radiance of the chapter ahead. The curtain of light parts with a softness that feels impossibly delicate, as though it has been waiting for this moment, not to display power, but to welcome your presence with reverence. The strands of shimmering radiance sway gently as you pass through, brushing across your skin with the faintest touch, warm and cool at once. Each thread of light dissolves against you like a droplet of warm rain, leaving no trace except a deepening calm that spreads slowly through your chest. On the other side, the world transforms into an expanse of pure luminescence. The air feels lighter here, so light that it seems to lift your body with every inhale. Colors shift subtly through the atmosphere. Soft pastels blending into ethereal gold, then fading into pale silver before forming into subtle blues. None of the hues stay long. They flow together in an ever-changing dance, like the sky painting itself in slow, fluid strokes. You look down and realize the ground beneath you isn't truly ground at all. It resembles clouds, but denser, supportive, and warm. When you step on them, they compress slightly, then lift you with the gentlest buoyancy. It feels like walking on the softest memory, a memory too kind to ever fade. The air hums in harmony with your heartbeat, settling your thoughts in the same way a lullaby calms a restless mind. The breeze that carried you here drifts around your shoulders once more, its touch familiar now, comforting. It twirls lightly around your arms, guiding you further into this luminous realm. Avalokiteshvara's presence appears beside you, their radiance calmer and more expansive here, as if this place itself amplifies their compassion. Their form glows with a soft, pearly shimmer, warm, steady, endlessly kind. As you walk, the landscape shifts like a dream, shaped by your innermost truth. The light flows around you in slow waves, creating gentle arcs and dissolving into drifting particles. With every step, tension leaves your body. Not dramatically, not all at once, but gradually, like dust falling from an old garment. There is no effort in this release. The realm itself seems to coax each burden from you with tender patience. You start to notice something extraordinary. With each step, something within you loosens. Not just stress or worry, but deeper habits of holding. Old ways of gripping your fears, guarding your heart, bracing for hurts that no longer threaten you. Those habits begin to soften. They slip away like threads unwound from a tangled weave, freeing space inside you that you didn't realize was still clenched. Avalokiteshvara watches you gently, their compassion radiating outward like light expanding from a still center. You sense that this realm is responding not only to your presence, but to your willingness to allow yourself to feel free, even for a moment. The air grows warmer around your ribs, as if the very atmosphere celebrates each quiet release inside you. Ahead, the luminous terrain widens into a vast clearing, floating high above an endless sky of soft colors. At its center sits a seat carved from cloud light, a structure so delicate it seems unreal, yet so solid it emanates a steady presence. It glows from within, shaped with curves that resemble petals of a flower opening in slow motion. The seat appears both ancient and newborn, eternal, yet shaped for you in this exact moment. Your breath deepens as you approach it. Something in your chest recognizes what this place means. It is a resting place, a witnessing place, a place where freedom rises not from escape, but from acceptance. Acceptance of everything you've seen, everything you've felt, everything you've gently released along the way. When you stand before the luminous seat, a soft warmth pulses upward, welcoming you with open arms. The surface looks like woven light, yet when you touch it, it feels solid and comforting. Warm like sunlit stone, soft like downy fabric. Without hesitation, without fear, you slowly lower yourself onto it. The moment you sit, a wave of peace spreads outward from your spine, wrapping around your shoulders, your arms, your ribs, your legs. It settles into your body like a quiet truth you had forgotten, but instantly recognize. You are safe. You are supported. You are free here in ways you have longed for without knowing how to describe. Avalokiteshvara stands before you, their radiance pulsing in slow, rhythmic waves. Their compassion reaches toward you in a gentle embrace, not physical, not imposing, but deeply present. It enters the space inside your heart that has opened, filling it with warmth so tender you feel your eyes soften. The luminous realm quiets around you, preparing for what comes next. The air thickens with serenity. The light seems to hold its breath. Ahead, beyond the soft horizon, another glow begins to rise, hinting at the next revelation waiting for you. And as you rest on the cloud-carved seat, lighter than you have felt in years, you feel the call of the sea. Next chapter beginning to stir, just beyond the shimmering veil of peace surrounding you. The luminous seat beneath you adjusts subtly, as though the very light it's woven from recognizes the shift within your heart. It supports you not merely as a place to rest, but as a cradle shaped by compassion itself. The cloud-like surface holds your weight with perfect ease, warm enough to invite every muscle to soften, yet firm enough to remind you that this moment, this arrival, has been earned through every quiet step you've taken. The realm around you grows even more serene. Soft waves of light drift across the horizon, their colors blending into gentle gradients of gold, lavender, and pale rose. The shifting hues reflect the ease settling within you, like a sky responding to the slow unwinding of your deepest tension. You breathe in, and the air fills you with warmth. You breathe out, and the last traces of tightness inside you melt into the glowing space around you. Avalokiteshvara moves closer, Their luminous form a steady flame in the soft expanse of cloud light. They stand before you with the gentlest presence, neither towering nor distant, but close, near enough that their compassion surrounds you like an embrace made of radiance. As they lift their hand, the light around their fingers brightens into a soft, golden glow. With the tender slowness, Avalokiteshvara brings their hand toward you until it hovers just above your heart. Their palm doesn't touch your chest physically, yet the warmth that radiates from it feels unmistakably real. It flows directly into you, passing through your ribs, softening the spaces your breath once struggled to reach. You feel the warmth settle deep within your heart center, spreading outward like sunlight dissolving morning frost. For a moment, everything becomes still. Stillness, not as emptiness, but as clarity. A clarity that reveals a truth you may have forgotten. You are worthy of acceptance because you exist, because you feel, because you breathe. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to become perfect to be worthy of gentleness. Avalokiteshvara's compassion expands through their hovering palm, bathing your heart in softness. The warmth reaches the places where old self-judgments lived, loosening their grip. It moves into the corners where you held on to shame, where harsh expectations settled without permission. It touches memories you hid from yourself, not to expose them, but to offer them the same compassion you're feeling now. As the warmth deepens, something inside your chest begins to open. A petal, maybe. A door, a window. Whatever shape it takes, it opens without force, slowly, delicately, revealing a part of you long closed off by fear or doubt. Light fills that opening, gentle but persistent, illuminating truths you haven't let yourself acknowledge. You have tried. You have endured. You have grown, quietly, bravely. You have been softer with the world than it has been with you, and still you continue. Recognition rises inside you, not as pride, but as a tender acceptance of your own humanity. Tears may stir at the edges of your awareness. Not painful tears, but the kind that fall when your heart finally feels safe enough to be honest. Avalokiteshvara's hand glows brighter, and the warmth becomes steadier, more radiant. You feel it flowing through your entire chest, clearing pathways for breath, loosening emotional knots you never knew how to untie. Every inhale feels fuller. Every exhale travels deeper. Then, with exquisite gentleness, the Bodhisattva lowers their hand. But the warmth remains anchored inside you, not as something borrowed, but as something awakened. Your heart feels different now, softer, quieter, stronger in a way that is tender rather than unyielding. The light beneath your seat begins to shift, its glow expanding until it reaches the very edges of the realm. The luminous clouds ripple outward, forming a gentle stream of radiance that flows like a river made of moonlight. The stream curves downward from the throne of acceptance, moving slowly and steadily toward the horizon. Avalokiteshvara looks toward the glowing path, and then back at you, their expression communicating what words cannot. The path is an invitation, one only possible now that you have rested in your own acceptance. It leads deeper still, toward places where wisdom grows naturally from compassion. You rise slowly from the throne, feeling lighter, clearer, more fully yourself than you have in a long time. The warmth in your chest remains steady as you take your first step toward the silver-lit stream. The path glows brighter with your approach, as though it recognizes the renewed strength within you. With Avalokiteshvara's calm presence beside you, you step onto the radiant pathway, ready to follow its gentle current into the next chapter of your journey, where deeper understanding awaits. The radiant pathway unfolds before you, like a stream of liquid moonlight, its surface shimmering with the calm assurance of a road prepared specifically for your steps. As you follow its gentle curve, you feel the warmth in your chest, awakened from Avalokiteshvara's touch, still glowing softly, steady as a lantern held close against the night. Each step sends a subtle ripple of light across the path, as though the very ground recognizes the change within you. The luminous realm begins to shift, not fading, but gradually blending into softer hues that resemble the world you left behind. Earthly tones threaded with celestial brightness. The sky overhead deepens into deeper blues, brighter stars emerging like familiar companions returning to guide you. The air grows warmer, carrying a faint breeze that touches your skin like the whisper of a memory, reminding you that gentleness has always been available to you, even on the most difficult days. Avalokiteshvara walks beside you, their presence the same steady flame of compassion that has accompanied you through every chamber, every garden, every moment of surrender. Their radiance moves with calm assurance, encouraging your steps without a single word. You feel that their compassion is no longer something you're approaching, but something that now travels within you, like a quiet ember carried carefully in the center of your chest. The path begins a slow, gradual descent, leading downward across the luminous expanse like a river returning to its source. The clouds of soft light part below you, revealing glimpses of mountains, forests, and winding rivers. You recognize the shapes not exactly as physical places, but as symbolic landscapes of the life you will return to. Challenges appear as distant peaks. Responsibilities appear as winding paths. Moments of joy sparkle like lakes reflecting starlight. And yet, none of it feels heavy. The world you are returning to no longer feels like a place waiting to test you, but a realm waiting to welcome the softer heart you now carry. You breathe deeply, absorbing this realization as calmly as air. As you continue downward, the breeze grows stronger, circling gently around your shoulders and brushing against your hair. It carries the same healing quality it held before, but now, instead of dissolving burdens, it polishes your heart, like wind smoothing the edges of a stone that has survived rivers and tides. The breeze seems to whisper, "You are ready." Ready not because you are flawless, but because you understand your softness is not a weakness. It is a doorway to deeper compassion. Ahead, lanterns appear along the descending walkway, small, glowing orbs that flicker like fireflies held in delicate glass. They rise one by one as you approach, illuminating the path in warm gradients of gold. Their light is humble, not dramatic, resembling the simple kindnesses that often guide us through life without our noticing. A gentle word, a small gesture, someone's patient understanding. You sense Avalokiteshvara's approval in the growing glow. This is not the end of your journey. This is the moment you gather all the compassion you've renewed inside yourself and prepare to bring it back into the world. The lanterns brighten slightly each time your heart softens in recognition of this truth. You pause at one of the lanterns, noticing its flame flicker in delicate spirals. When you lean closer, the flame responds to your warmth, burning brighter for a moment before settling into a steady glow. You understand instinctively your presence has changed. You carry a gentler energy now, one that affects the world around you in subtle, healing ways. Avalokiteshvara stands behind you, silent but full of presence. Their radiance stretches outward in a wide, soft halo, illuminating the path below. When you turn to look at them, you see in their luminous expression a reflection of your own heart, expanded, softened, made spacious through compassion. The descent continues, but now the path widens, offering room for breath, reflection, and quiet gratitude. The lanterns create a warm, living corridor of golden light. Each flame seems to nod as you pass, acknowledging the truth of your journey. The walkway feels less like a path leading downward and more like a gentle return, a homecoming from a place deep within yourself. The wind carries another whisper, calmer now, like a friend walking beside you. Take your compassion with you. The world needs the softness you've reclaimed. You feel this truth resonate through your ribs, settling into your breath. Your heart feels clearer, steadier, more grounded. The descent levels out just ahead, opening into a wider terrace glowing with warm lantern light. At the far end of the terrace, another doorway waits. An invitation, tinged with the promise of further understanding. You walk toward it with quiet strength, the lanterns guiding your steps, ready to enter the next chapter where your softened heart will discover how compassion deepens into wisdom. The terrace ahead glows with a gentle radiance, illuminated by a long row of lanterns floating just above the ground. Their warm golden light drifts in slow pulses, as if each flame is breathing softly in the quiet air. Avalokiteshvara walks beside you, their luminous form shimmering with the same steady calm, guiding you toward the first lantern in the line. As you draw closer, the nearest lantern brightens. Its glow wraps around you like a memory rising from deep within, a moment of courage you once dismissed as small. The lantern reveals it clearly now. The time you reached out when you were afraid. The time you comforted someone even while carrying your own burden. The flame flickers in recognition, showing you the quiet bravery that has always lived within you, even when you weren't aware of it. You step forward, and the next lantern stirs with a warm, rosy glow. This one carries the essence of compassion, not just given, but received. You feel the imprint of every gentle act someone once offered you, every kindness that softened a difficult moment, every word that helped you breathe again. The lantern seems to whisper, "You were never as alone as you believed." Its light sinks into your chest, reminding you of the unseen support that has held you through countless storms. The third lantern glows with a cool blue radiance. This flame holds a different kind of memory, the wisdom of knowing when to rest. You see moments when your exhaustion was not weakness, but a sign of deep humanity. Times when slowing down saved you. Times when stopping was the most courageous choice you could make. The lantern's light moves through you like a soft wave, teaching you again that rest is not the opposite of progress. It is part of it. You walk onward, feeling Avalokiteshvara's gentle presence reflecting each lantern's message through the air around you. The fourth lantern brightens, a serene green shimmer that feels like forgiveness, but not forgiveness of anyone else. This one is about forgiving yourself. The lantern glows steadily as you recall the ways you've held yourself accountable for being imperfect, for not knowing what you didn't know, for trying to heal with the tools you hadn't been given yet. Its flame burns with deep compassion, saying without words, you deserve to release yourself. The fifth lantern ignites softly in gold, threaded with white. This one carries clarity. It reveals how much you've learned, often quietly, often painfully, but always with honesty. You see how your heart widened even when it hurt, how your understanding deepened even when the path felt uncertain. The light warms your ribs, showing you how far you've come. You approach the sixth lantern, and its flame glows in a soft violet. This lantern is different. Its light feels like a mirror. It reflects not memory, not insight, but awareness. It shows you who you are in this very moment. Someone softened by compassion, strengthened by surrender, guided by the quiet wisdom you've gathered. The lantern lets you see yourself clearly, not as you were, but as you've become. Avalokiteshvara's form brightens beside you, their radiance blending with the violet glow as if affirming the truth of who you now are. You feel a quiet certainty settle into your chest. Ahead, at the very end of the lantern line, one final flame burns brighter than all the others. Its light spills across the terrace in soft waves, illuminating the air with a brilliance that feels both gentle and profound. You walk toward it, slowly, feeling the warmth of the previous lanterns woven into each step. The final lantern's glow deepens as you approach. Its light holds everything: courage, compassion, rest, forgiveness, clarity, awareness. All the wisdom you have gathered along this journey merges here, forming a single, radiant truth that settles deep inside you. The lantern brightens once more, and its light spreads across the terrace floor, revealing faint lines beneath the glow. Stone steps, worn and familiar. As the brilliance intensifies, the luminous realm around you softens, dissolving into shimmering mist. And through that mist, the shape of the original mountain path emerges, steady and real beneath your feet. Avalokiteshvara stands beside you, their presence warm and unwavering. Their radiance guides your gaze to the path stretching forward, the same path where your journey began, now glowing gently under the soft lantern light. You feel the air grow still, as though the world itself is taking a breath with you. And with your heart full of every lantern's lesson, you step toward the mountain path, ready for the final chapter awaiting you just ahead. The lantern light fades into a gentle glow behind you as you take your first step onto the mountain path, the same path where your journey began. Yet the ground feels different now, softer, steadier, as though the earth itself recognizes the transformation within you. The stones beneath your feet hold their familiar texture, but they no longer echo with uncertainty. Instead, they feel like anchors, grounding you in the truth of everything you have learned, everything you have released, everything that has softened and opened inside your heart. You breathe in the mountain air, cool and pure, carrying the faint scent of pine and earth. The breeze brushes your cheeks with the same tenderness that once guided you through the luminous realms. It carries with it the warmth of Avalokiteshvara's compassion, woven into every current of air, reminding you that nothing you gained on this journey is lost. The wisdom, the clarity, the quiet courage, they travel with you now, held gently in the depths of your being. Avalokiteshvara walks beside you, their radiant presence no longer towering or distant, but calm and familiar, like a friend who has accompanied you across lifetimes. Their light glimmers in the corner of your vision, not bright enough to overwhelm, but steady enough to reassure. You feel the warmth of their compassion surrounding you, not as an external force, but as an inner glow that mirrors your own expanding tenderness. As you continue along the path, the world begins to take on the quiet softness of early dawn. The sky shifts gradually from deep midnight blue to pale lavender, then to faint ribbons of gold stretching across the horizon. Light filters gently through the trees, brushing against your skin like a blessing. The forest awakens slowly, yet its sounds are muted, softened as though wrapped in a blanket of calm. You pause beside a small clearing where a single, smooth stone rests beneath the branches of an ancient cedar. The stone is worn by time and weather, yet it radiates warmth, a natural seat carved by the world itself. You settle onto it, feeling the cool surface support your weight with effortless ease. The forest seems to draw closer, offering shelter, offering silence, offering peace. Avalokiteshvara stands before you, their luminous outline shimmering softly in the morning light. For the first time, their radiance feels familiar, like something that belongs not only to them, but also to you. Their compassion is no longer something you reach toward, it is something you live within. They raise one hand, palm facing outward, a gesture of deep blessing. The light that pours from their palm is gentle, warm, almost like sunlight reflected on still water. It drifts toward you in soft waves, settling around your shoulders, your arms, your chest. The warmth enters your heart as though it has always belonged there, expanding into every breath you take. You feel an overwhelming softness fill your chest, not a fragile softness, but one made from strength, acceptance, and deep understanding. The journey through sanctuaries, gardens, chambers, and luminous realms has opened something profound inside you. And now, in this simple clearing on the mountain path, you feel the full truth of that opening. You are held. You are supported. You are protected. Avalokiteshvara's hand lowers slowly, their gesture complete. Yet the warmth remains within you, steady and alive. Their presence grows quieter, not fading, but blending seamlessly into the environment. The breeze, the trees, the soft glow of dawn. You realize that their compassion is no longer beside you. It is part of you. You close your eyes, letting your breath deepen. Each inhale draws in peace. Each exhale releases tension. The world around you grows softer, dimming into a quiet lullaby of wind through leaves and distant birdsong. Your muscles loosen, your thoughts slow, and your heart settles into a steady, restful rhythm. A gentle hush settles over the clearing. The forest, the mountain, the sky, all of it seems to breathe with you. Avalokiteshvara's presence rests over you like a warm blanket, comforting, reassuring, protective. You feel the last remnants of worry dissolve into the air, drifting upward like faint wisps of smoke carried away by a kind wind. As your body grows heavier with relaxation, the world fades into the soft stillness of early morning. You feel yourself drifting, not away from the journey, but into the deep embrace of compassion that has carried you from the beginning. This embrace holds you now, gently and completely, encouraging your heart to rest, to heal, to sleep. And with a final, quiet breath, you allow yourself to settle fully into the peace Avalokiteshvara has wrapped around you. A peace that asks nothing, demands nothing, simply holds you as you drift deeper and deeper into restful, comforting slumber.